Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and finally this day is here. It's day 5 of the European PMCO Spring Split 2020, and it's gonna be absolutely insane as always. 4 games of insane and intense PUBG Mobile European action will be coming your way, so you better be nice and seated. My name is Maximan, and as always, I will be joined by my friend and yours, Imperium. How's it going, man?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is it. We're 2/3 of the way through. We come down to the final 4 games for all 32 of these teams, and we are going to lose, unfortunately, 8 of them going into the semi-finals. Some teams are looking damn hot, but some teams are also looking noticeably weak going into these games.
Talking about the teams that are seeming a little bit weak, we'll go over them. But real quick, before we jump into the standings, I'm going to be showing the schedule for today. If you guys do not know which maps we will be playing, as today we are kicking off day 5. And every uneven number is going to be the start of another format. So today we're going to be kicking it off with Erangel. Next, going over to Sanhok and Vikendi. That, as I said, is going to be great for teams such as OVN Esports. And wrapping it up all once again for these teams of Group A and Group D with another Erangel game. As always, 50% of your games will be on Erangel, which I think most teams do love. And I definitely enjoy casting them.
Yeah. Of course. It's the home of PUBG Mobile at the end of the day. But yeah, you know, talking about the overall standings and the teams that are participating today, of course we're not having the likes of Next who are lying on top, as well as Cream Esports. They get to kind of take a rest, so to speak, but we're going to be looking at the teams who are in 3rd place, 4th place, down below, like Terror Esports. Actually, no, sorry, not 4th place, but like Terror Esports currently lying in 3rd on 137 points with 2 chicken dinners. Then when you look over maybe in Hate Gaming, who are in 5th, they've gotten 2 chicken dinners and they're on 104 points. So teams are already looking pretty strong. It's a matter of what they can build on it going into these 4 games.
Yeah, already 6, almost 7 with Juliakids hitting the 100 bomb already. So really proud of most of these squads. They are looking really safe, as I said multiple times. Like, this is not a cushion in terms of points they set up for themselves. They have an absolute mattress, a king-size mattress, and they're just going to be cruising throughout these games. Potentially a few of these squads might try and focus some other teams to just get them eliminated. I heard some things that I can't talk about, but there are definitely some inside wars happening in the European PMCO Imperium. But I propose that we might have to look at the teams that are in the danger zone, in the blue zone of the standings, I would even say.
Yeah, exactly. Like, out of the bottom 16 teams right now, 7 are going to be competing in these set of 4 games. And what's also twice as interesting about that is that there's 18 points currently dividing 18th place and 27th place, with 4 teams within that bracket are playing today. So when you look at the likes of Elevate, GSMC, LAKONOSTRA, all those teams. LAKONOSTRA playing today? Maybe not, my apologies. But for 4 of the teams, they really have to climb up the standings in terms of points. They want to create that cushion that you just talked about ahead of the teams that are kind of currently lying right now in the bottom half of the table. Because at the end of the day, after these set of 4 games are done for the teams that are in the bottom half, their fate is essentially out of the palm of their hands. It's going to come down to how good or bad the teams do in tomorrow's set of games. So it's really interesting, as I said, especially for the likes of Elevate.
Especially, I just talked about LAKONOSTRA just to make sure, like, LAKONOSTRA are indeed playing tomorrow. They're in Group B. They'll be facing this Group C.
Yeah.
No problem, Mo. That's fine. Just keeping it up for the viewers in case. But as you said, their fate is going to be sealed, Imperium. After today, they cannot have any more influence on their points. And they're just going to be biting their nails and just looking at the games tomorrow like, I'm hoping that this team loses. Like that, we can move on forward and get in the top 24 to move to the semi-finals. So tomorrow, we're going to see a few players just watching on YouTube or Twitch, and they're going to be stressing out of their freaking minds. But I did a little list, actually, today of Imperium for Group A and Group D players and teams that will be that are in the danger zone that we got to look out for. So PedjaDBoy, Yakuza, the red team, and also Team Push. Those teams are currently in under 24th position. So if they stay in this current position, they are out. Okay, they are...
True.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be a little bit harsh. Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit harsh. The red team and PedjaDBoys, they won't make it. I'm gonna be harsh. That just because they haven't shown that level of oomph, they haven't showed that kind of spark in my eyes up until this point compared to Yakuza and and the likes of even GSMC Esports, who are a little bit further apart. But yeah, that's just my calling right now. Those two teams aren't going to make it.
I think it is pretty safe to assume, but like we saw some teams do outstanding performances like Next, Magic, Hate Gaming. In a few games specifically, they're about available and they have a chance of almost getting around 100 points. So if they're able to pull off like a Hate Gaming, basically, they can make it back up. It's going to be really hard because also they haven't showed consistency and it's not something you can pull like on a whim. You know that all the other teams, you're playing against the best teams in all of Europe. You're facing versus the best of the best on this region. And it is going to be really hard for you to pull it off. And if you haven't been consistent, it's not only the fact of your gameplay that might come against you, but also your moral boost, right? If you've been losing and you're not looking good with your performances, your moral is also just going to diminish pretty heavily, and you're just not going to have the moral to just go in your games like at 100% capacity.
Yeah, of course. And look, I'm open to be proven wrong. The typical example of that, not that I said anything definitive about them, was AK-47. They went into the second set of 4 games yesterday, lying in 28th, and they got the biggest amount of points in one game we've seen so far on game 1. They followed it up with an unfortunate 1-point game 2, but then they had 16 points and 10 points in game 3 and game 4, and now suddenly they find themselves in 8th place. So yeah, of course, I'm open to be proven wrong. Go ahead, use that dismissiveness that I'm throwing out there, Red Team and PedjaDBoy, and prove me wrong. I will hold my hand up and I will go, yeah, I was duped. You guys prove me.
Yeah, I want us to pull off a nice little outplay on us on the casting desk. It would be really fun to see a few teams like pull off the best underdog story and just make it back up and potentially even go to the bigger tournaments like PMPL, all those kind of events. It would be really nice to have a few teams make it up there. But so far, the big dogs that are going to be playing on today's broadcast are going to have a few really big teams. A few teams I'm mainly looking at is going to be Terra Esports. They have been absolutely shredding it. They had a few games that were a little bit low on the standings, but otherwise, most of their games have been absolutely outstanding. Securing himself 2 chicken dinners in Group A, 2 chicken dinners out of 3 for their group. So that's going to be a pretty nice one. They're going to have a few foes that they can easily potentially take out because they feel really confident in this group. And other teams are really good against them is going to be Hate Gaming. Hate Gaming and Terra Esports are 2 teams that are going to be potentially shredding it today. Even though Hate Gaming, they struggled a little bit on their last day.
They did.
But they still got to give it another shot.
The Hate Gaming, I'm going to say, to be perfectly honest, they disappointed me. Not in a super bad way, but they went from an average of 19 points per game to 13 points per game. That cannot happen going into the semi-finals and finals. And on to kind of counter that, even though they're not playing today, Cream Esports went from 18.75 to 17.3 after 8 games. And even though that's a minus on average points per game, it's when you take into account that it's barely, a point, just over a point, and you're still getting those, massive amount of points. Hate Gaming, they have to step it up going into today's 4 games to really kind of put fear in the eyes of the likes of Terra Esports, Skilla, and the teams around them.
And you were just talking about like the point averages like staying in the same ballpark, for example, for Cream. Also didn't talk about Next. They got 3 chicken dinners. They actually, increased their point average after 8 games it was?
Yeah.
It was mental.
Disgusting. Like, they went from 20.5 points per game to 20.63 points per game after an extra 4 games. You very rarely see it indeed. But a team that I also want to highlight, and I mentioned them just now, is Skilla. Skilla have definitely looked pretty strong. When you look over in the overall standings, they're the only team in the top. They're the only team in the top
11.
10 top 10, top 11 that haven't got a chicken dinner, and they're still riding high in those standings. They've been pretty damn consistent with their results. They had very little drops in their points, and that's really showing a good start. And that is heavily down to really great teamwork, communication. The IGLing from Whitey has obviously been paying off, and also the morale side of things, is stepping into a positive play for them.
I think that Skilla is one of the teams that really shows that you don't need chicken dinners to make it through. If they did have like 1 or 2 chicken dinners, they could easily potentially even be in like top 5 position and just even higher. And YT, as you just mentioned, like absolutely insane IGL. Really proud of the guy. He's been a great player all around. And I think the main thing that stands out to me when I see Goskula play is discipline. They are the team from which I see fewer mistakes, sometimes on rotation, but like other than that, and like when they're actually taking fights, breaching compounds, their discipline is absolutely outstanding. And I gotta say, that is their defining point to me at least. And that's why I think Goskula is up there in like top 10, top 11 without a chicken dinner, because their discipline is just spot on, super good.
Yeah, and just a real quick tip, I was talking to Whitey and I was like, how are you feeling? You know, and he's like, if we have some luck, you know, I'd feel great. And I just simply responded to him, you make your own luck. You know, and he's like, yeah, bro. And I was like, yeah, you know, we can always talk about circle shifts. We can talk about how things could go in an unfortunate direction, but at the end of the day, as much as possible, you make your own luck. Within PUBG Mobile, you put yourself in the position where that luck is gonna go on your side.
In the world of PUBG Mobile, like, still have a little bit of RNG, right? The skill of a team, from my perspective, is how a team responds to RNG when it goes against them or in their favor. And so many teams like had the worst circle shifts and made up for it. Some teams had super good circle shifts and completely threw it out the window. So really, RNG still has something to do with your PUBG Mobile competitive scene, but you can make up for it by just working hard, joining scrims, just doing VOD review. And if you do that properly, really, the circle is just an extra step, but it's pretty easy. It becomes easier and easier to get over the step of RNG.
True, but let's talk about the elephant in the room in my eyes, to be perfectly honest.
Why are you talking about me like that? What the hell? What? Wow. All your friends, Imperium.
You're a baguette, not an elephant.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Don't insult elephants like that.
Okay, anyway, I'm gonna replace your face on the face cam overlay with like a potato instead.
Okay, I see that. So the elephant in the room is Elevate being in 18th place. And I talked to Kaylas after the set of games last night, and he was so disappointed in himself. And he mentioned about how he knows that he needs to improve as an IGL, and he's letting things get to him. And I gave him a few words of advice based on key points that I noticed in the games yesterday. And the biggest thing for him that he knows he needs to improve for his team is how quickly he reacts to those circle shifts, how quickly he moves his team out. He was saying that in scrims, you know, Elevate were super quick with their rotation. They were happy with how fast they were, but coming into the PMCO, when you're getting into that competitive setting, he was like, I've quickly realized that I'm slow and I need to step up how quickly I rotate my team. And I said, yeah, you're damn right. But once you recognize that, in my eyes, that's half the battle. When you know where you've gone wrong, that's 50% of the work done. The remaining 50% is essentially nailing that improvement and working it into the next set of games. And I hope that's what Elevate does do in these 4 games.
Elevate is a little bit in like same position of Red Reserve. You know, I'm not talking in the standings, of course, but in like in the sense of like the team in general. They have so much potential. They showed it during the screams just so many times. They got 4 chicken dinners in a row for some session, but they have their potential. They have yet to break out their shell, and that's been like they have been pulling back a little bit, and they know exactly what to focus on, right? You just said it. They know what to work on.
Yeah.
And I know how good they are, and like, you know, trying to respond and how to improve on specific points. I hope that is going to be for them today, because they're not in a great position. They are definitely in somewhat of a. They are threatened by a few teams that are lower than them or even above them. So I really hope Elevate have a good performance today, because this is the last opportunity they will have to impact their standings. And if they mess it up, well, unfortunately, that's going to be sleepy night for you.
Yeah, you're dead right. Like, at the end of the day, they're lying in a position where they're very close to the bottom 24. They're on the edge of a cliff, so to speak. They have to push themselves back up that cliff into the safe zone. Like, I would love to look back and and see how many games they've been in phase 5 or phase 6 as a full squad. I would say it's little to none, you know. And the games that they've done well, like we talked about their first game, Erangel game yesterday, they had 2 teams, they stayed in the middle of the zone and they got a good result. But outside of that, yeah, it hasn't looked overall good in the late stages for them. But either way, game 1 is getting underway. Max, the playing trajectory, where's it gonna go?
Where's it gonna go? We are rolling straight over the air of Primorsk, so I know that a team such as, for example, REXPECT should be pretty happy if they decide to jump it out there. But also, REXPECT has been shown recently. They like to go for Zaki also, but here it is. Our plane path going to go straight over to shooting range over there in the distance. Saverni going to be pretty good for a team such as OVN Esports. They will be trying to drop there, I am pretty damn sure. And Hate Gaming, you know, they enjoy military base, so that's going to be their main focus.
Oh boy, Hate gonna find an easier way into military base. Will they be joined by anybody? Top Killers might be heading in that direction, although they might be looking to land in around the ferry pier. MVP are heading in the ferry pier area, pretty standard stuff. There's no Next in the lobby to take over Gatka and that western part area, and G-Space are gonna look to go there. And Terror will head over in the hospital, sorry, not the hospital region, but the South George region as they always do go.
AK-47, like they did last time, they understood that Southern George Pole, too much action for us early game, we don't really like it. So they're gonna, they did change up on the last few Erangel games, shifted up Northern George Pole for a lot safer game, and I think that's a lot of respect coming out, and they're just playing a lot more for the late game. Knowing they're very aggressive, I think that is definitely the play that can just bring them so many more points, and overall just map advantage in general.
PedjaDBoys going for also that kind of coastal line. I don't know if they've always dropped there, to be perfectly honest. So PedjaDBoys, you know, always drop in around there, but let's see where they do rotate to. I think they might rotate to Milta because that's where they do normally go. And then all the while we do have Ghost Skilla in Roshawk and the red team down in school.
Western circles again. I think PUBG Mobile hates me. I know I was going to say happy birthday, but I guess I won't anymore. Not making me happy right now, PUBG Mobile Esports, but it's fine. I was going to see Top Killers and MVP Gaming in Ferry Pier. MVP got the first knockdown, but unfortunately with no cars and is not a great way to push this compound. They're going to leave PUBG get res back up. So they're not going to be able to make, unfortunately, the big push, but they've got to be careful how they engage this compound because they're going a little bit scarcely. They've got to get back together, which they did do, and now they can potentially try and go for full-out offensive. Nice mini play coming up from Militia. Getting a few nice knockdowns on Nini.
Yeah, MVP being aggressive. They're currently lying in 19th place in the standings overall, going into these set of games on 54 points in total. And let's see if they can work it out all the while. Yakuza and Hate Gaming connecting onto each other. Namad knockdown will get confirmed by JW.
Hate Gaming, they're going to be losing their very first member almost instantaneously as they drop out on Military Island. Let's hope they can try and make it out. Also, it's an area that doesn't have too many car spawns, so that means they're making it out of the compound. And Scathed is going to be really hard for those two squads. Top Kill going to try and hold a nice high ground position. I think they have a great place to play around with. We'll have to see if they can play that, but still back on over to this fight as Nini's going to get knocked away by Militia once again.
It's kind of going back and forth. Good stuff by MVP. The Mini 14 without a scope still doing good work for Militia. Danny's down below. They're holding off. They're playing it safe. I like that from MVP. At this stage of the game, I don't mind teams taking it slow with an engagement. I'm always the first to say you should be a bit more cohesive and a little bit more kind of, you either go in or you don't. But phase one, I don't mind.
Oh, Yakuza going for MZ. MZ, can he take it home? No, that's going to be an instant reply. MZ is going to be flushed away. And Hate Gaming, they are, you know, they're falling a little bit down from the heavens on their last 4 games. But right now, they are also having not their best third day, so hopefully they can try and make it up with the few members they still have alive. But Necron going for a pretty sexy flank. I'm a pretty big fan of this, as Pupex is trying to just run away. Not sure what Pupex is trying to help out. Maybe trying to predict a flank coming out a little bit higher from the north.
It's risky from Pupex, but it could work out. And I like the fact that Necron is being supported by Lurwan and Danny as well on this side, leaving Militia on top of the roof on his own. And yeah, Pupex has an idea, gonna spray up with the M16, but nice response from Necron.
Especially with the Uzi at that range. Good job from him. And now they're gonna do a nice top killer sandwich. Danny gonna be coming out from the northern side, and then you're gonna put a little bit lower once again. Pupex might want to try and flush it out just to make sure, and then you just put so damn low. I don't think he'll make it out alive. Pupex will indeed be a casualty in that engagement. Zart is gonna be the only one full health at this stage of the game. But now MVP, they're not giving them enough time to breathe. They know it's a 4v2, and they're looking pretty damn aggressive.
Oh man, good stuff by MVP. Very clean on the rotation. It's a nice balance of aggressive, cohesive, waiting to get the information before you engage, not going in completely full send. Zart is very low, just behind a wall. He's managing to heal up, but he has a limited amount of bandages.
Look at that discipline from MVP Gaming. They know that they got to go up the stairs if they want to try and get Nini. So, like, if we can nade it, we can go for it. The jump. Oh, be careful, Necron. That was pretty cool, but you got to... Oh, Sarton's not going for it, but here it is. Going for the spray. He doesn't connect it, and he's going to be an instant casualty to the hands of Dani. The headshot with UMP connects, and Nini will be left alone. No friends alive anymore, and being solo, one bullet will do its bidding. And Nini make it out with the Uzi. I mean, they got to go upstairs one by one, but once again, the discipline has been insane, and I'm sure their synergy will be just about at the same level.
If Nini wins this, I will give you €1,000.
To who? To Nini? Or me? Oh, me?
No, to you. To you. If he wins this team fight.
Well, so that means I have to give you 1,000 if he loses?
No.
Okay. I was like, I'm not part of this anymore. I don't want to play. But Nini going to try and jump out, and there you go. That will beat Layer 1 with UMP connecting the last shot. That's an instant 4 points for MVP Gaming. And once again, they played it very by the book. It's very slow pace, but that is how you engage a team that has a better position. That was absolutely on point.
It was. It really was. One rotation and one drop swap, which I'm curious about, is Elevate going for actual North George. Kind of 2-2 split. It's not too common. We'd normally see them go to the east of the map. It's a change of pace, and I agree with it, because when you look at the Erangel games, we talked about it, most of the circles have been in the west/southwest of the map, so it would make sense for them to change up their drop spot to closer that they can rotate without less hassle or in a quicker manner.
Yeah, even though it's still based a little bit on RNG, but, you know, as long as it works, I can't really argue with that too heavily. Elevate, they got himself the compound I absolutely love on Erangel, and that's just going to be the bridge area towards good old George Pole. Got a lot of gatekeeping potential to come on through from that, and also the position's really nice to defend if you get bridge, because you got roads around, you got some rivers, so you can't get attacked from too many angles. And I think that Elevate definitely trying to set themselves up for the late game, and they did change it up. They normally like to go for Ilta, but this time they're going to go for the area around George Pole. I think that's a great plan. This is exactly what they need to just make up for their last 2 days.
Quick tidbit there. Great scouting going over there by OVN. You saw him just go around in the vehicle just to try and scout to see if any doors are open in that compound before potentially going through. Noticed the doors open, stopped. That was good stuff from OVN.
Like it, the respect coming out from them is pretty on point. Going to be taking a little bit close snippet of this phase 1 circle. Team push, very split, but they got a lot of room trying to control the area, trying to get as much as they can before getting back together. Team Warlords not going to get denied by Yakuza. Yakuza, like, now we're not really too interested anymore, and so that's not going to be turning up into 2 right now. But PedjaDBoy is finally going to go for their rotation. A lot of room on the east/southern side. And Hate Gaming, they've got to go for the move now, but I really like that they're going to go for the eastern bridge just to avoid any kind of, you know, potential bridge camp.
Yeah, of course, play it safe from that point of view. I'm a little bit surprised that Czech Esports rotated away from George as quickly as they did. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just expect them to stay a little bit longer. But they have rotated down past Everest. They are close to the likes of GSMC and UDR Killers.
Our Killers find a nice position towards Gatka. They got here the tower, scientist tower. I don't know, what do you call that? I don't know what to...
It's like a space tower?
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I like that. The space tower. This is it. This is what it's called by now. PUBG Mobile, you got to change the in-game name of that building to the space tower, or otherwise I'll do something.
Does that mean if somebody's there and they're a cowboy, they can be like, some people call me the space cowboy, some people call me Maurice. Woo woo. No, you don't know that song? Okay.
I legit don't.
Stop.
Okay,
yeah, I know you don't. That's why I didn't even stop talking, because I was like, he isn't gonna know. REXPECT on the compound by the edge of Everest.
Change subject.
GSMC and Czech Esports close by, as well as Yakuza, who are in Gaka.
Yeah, Yakuza playing, doing one of the circle and like drop changes that you talked about. Normally they like to go for Yasnaya. Here they played a little bit more central because they were anticipating this phase 1. Mamula, gotta be careful. You're very split, guys. And there you go. Mamula will be the first to go down. Mamula being one of the best players. Unfortunately, PedjaDBoy is out almost instantaneously, and I'm really sad to see him go out so early. Now that's going to be down to 3 members. But they were so spread.
It was an okay effort from Mamula, but if you were to put two clips side by side of how to scout and how not to scout, what OVN did was how to scout. What Mamula did was how not to scout. So hopefully he'll learn from that. It was just a little bit too close for comfort, especially when you know phase one is closing in. The circle is where it is, which has been very common in PUBG Mobile. The teams are adapting to it as you get through these group stages, which means that there's a higher chance the rotations are going to come out quicker.
You got to remember about when you want to scout with a car is just don't get close to a compound as long as you don't have information on if there's a teammate or not, because otherwise, like, the closer you are, the easier you are to shoot down, because cars are so predictable in their movement that the closer you are, they're just like, okay, well, just aim for the head, follow suit, and boom, that's an easy kill for us. As Team Warlords, they shifted, like, I gotta say, Team Warlords, and normally Yakuza, but now Yakuza changed circle, they main drop. They act almost instantaneously, and I think their circle reaction has got better during PMCO compared to the scrim sessions.
Oh yeah, 100%. It has gotten a lot better. I like the position of Warlords on a side note, outside of Runes, as the remaining players of Hate going for that rotation. It's very risky. The US is smoking up, but they'll find a spot for now.
Find a nice spot to call home. Hate Gaming is now only Jaja and Navi remaining. And Navi's got some great content on YouTube. I would recommend, personally. I do enjoy binge watching a little bit of Navi. Pretty fun to check out his insane plays, but with only 2 members, unfortunately his insane plays, might there be enough? Oh, I'm not too sure, and the car is assuming, so maybe not too good of a valuable option to rotate in the future.
Well, his teammate has rolled in with his second US, always a benefit of going in multiple cars as well. You know, oh, nice skin.
Nice skin, I was about to say.
Yeah. So we're going to see this face who's going to be showing up as per usual. Deja vu as shifts once again down the southwest. Yeah, I know. That's my reaction too. It's pretty standard. Teams can hold on to the north side and south side of Quarry if they want to. You have the hills down the south of Gatka, which is viable, and then the usual places around Everest.
Usual places around Everest. We'll have to see if some teams want to try and take the area of Everest under control. G-Space, they're going to go for, I believe that was the case where the AUG was. AUG. One of the best weapons in the game in terms of, like, you want to get yourself an M4. You've got the AUG, just take it. It's awesome to go for. And that will be normally for this team of G-Space. G-Space that does need some good performances right now. I would like to see them try and climb up a little bit higher because they're not in the safest of positions at this point.
They're not. So is an Elevate, and Elevate now wrapping around the edge of Everest. That's a risky rotation. I think it's in a position where it's in between teams at the point where they can't really be exposed too heavily without the teams around them exposing each other. It'll work out for now, but as per usual, is that too little too late of a rotation? What compounds are available? What will be viable? They're finding one, but it feels like that's kind of a last-ditch compound for Elevate.
At least the rotation there that we saw was way better than what they did on their second day. Like, there's definitely an improvement on that sense. The compound, luckily for them, was open. If it wasn't, they had walls too. It would be pretty hard to breach it that easily, especially going downhill. But here it is, the fight breaking out. Got Skiller going to try and rain it down. Vama69 just going to make it slowly close to Everest. And he now taking a little bit of tick damage, but he's going to get back to his team. This is why you split, because that could have been a few members potentially dying if it was not the case.
Yeah. What's really weird is that most of the teams are actually on the north half of this circle right now. There is quite a lot of space on the south side as Hoppa does get knocked down and will be confirmed by G-Space. Good stuff by GSMC.
I like how Johnny was like spraying, didn't connect. He's like, okay, calm down. 1 bullet, boom, finishes it. The spray at that range is going to be pretty harsh to connect. But Team Push, at least they made it out. Well, not all of them alive, unfortunately, but they still got Bobby, Bessa, and Vama69, so that's A-okay. Going to get in the same compound as Yakuza. But Yakuza, here it is. A nice high ground position held so far by JW. To try and use up that utility to push them away as he can, but they're definitely going to struggle doing so at this point.
Yakuza have to push on Team Push. Excuse the pun. They have to engage on them in my eyes. You cannot let them get closer to where Yakuza are. They want to hold on to Kaka as much as possible, whether it's via grenades, whether it's just pushing forward. They are only a 3-man team, so it is 3v3, but they need to protect this area because teams are going ever closer around them.
They were not in the best of position. Like, they're very split, very scarce. I don't know how they can actually pull off a proper defense in that kind of position. So they might have to try and think back that kind of defensive position. And also, Hate Gaming, they're just not too far behind that area. So we'll have to see if they want to try and pull off a third party. I don't think they will want to do that as they only got 2 members. But still using a lot of utility. Could come and buy you back, well, I think, late game. Because utility in the area of Gatka is primordial for you to survive as long as possible.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And just to touch upon what you said about their defensive point, my point is that they don't go defensively, they go offensively. They go forward, they engage onto the members of Team Push. Yeah, you want to find out a little bit of information of where they're positioned, but when you give them space to reposition, you're consistently losing out on that chance to gain information.
So the best defense is offense. That's what we're going to be taking out of that one.
Yes, in this case, yes.
I do agree. It's even for like an aggressive player. I think they're not well positioned. They need to try and like actually set up an actual front line. Right now they're in a line, but like perpendicular to where Team Push are located. So maybe we want to try and rethink that a little bit. As we're still going to be focused on this fight. Not much going on right now. But
they know where they are. They know where they are. So why not engage? This is the passiveness that I don't like. This is a kind of situation where I can't help but get frustrated at. You know where they are. Rotate around, flank them from either side, and sandwich them up. Get the job done.
Yeah, Ryan could also rotate on like behind the buildings on the southern side, and that would be such an easy way to get back to JW and actually get a nice angle to engage from. But he's not going for it just yet. They really want to take this on passive, which I think this is such a valuable compound. You want to fight for it, and definitely going aggressive here would be a lot more rewarding if you keep the compound. Whichever team between Team Push or Yakuza take it is going to be just so good because it's almost dead center circle, right?
Yeah, but we don't know where the circle is going to shift. It could go away from them. That's my point. That's why you want to even just close out the fight, because it doesn't matter if it's center circle. Hell, it would be better if it shifts against them at this moment in time, because if it shifts in the center, I guarantee you're going to have 2 to 3 teams getting even closer to them when they've yet to take each other out. So let's see who's going to overall benefit for, but right now it's not benefiting any of them.
Been on that fight for like 2 minutes, so I think we've got to try and like move away a little bit. Goskill in the position I said is pretty scary to be in. There's not too many areas you can actually attack that position from, but if a team is close by, 1 nade or 2, go straight into the dip, and you are looking in a pretty bad spot. But here it is, phase number 3 Imperium is going to be upon us, where finally your shift is different from usual. Thank you so much. It's going to go up north, a little bit to the west. We still have George Bowl Hospital into play, a big area of fields, and just a half section of Everest. This is going to be really interesting, but AK-47, they got one of the best positions, just like their first game of Erangel on day 2.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not the best in my eyes, because it's still inside South Georgia. It's still risky with a lot of areas around them. Hospital would be a hot spot in my eyes to hold on to for one of these teams, as Terra have to make their way down from the south of Everest. And look at this, these 2 teams, they are not in the circle, so whoever waits out longer is going to find an even tougher job to rotate into the circle.
Talking about loadouts, JW's got Bison, he's got so much ammo. That would be like the kind of best weapon to go for because they've got so many members. I would actually really like to see JW go for it, but Viper going to get shut away as Terra going to nicely take over this mountaintop towards Hospital. AK-47, they got the information at least. They did lose 1 member in the process, but now they can just set up shop here and know where team's going to be setting up their own aggressive position. So they're just going to avoid confrontation with them right now and just hold it for as long as possible, as this fight is still ongoing. This is like a Cold War, but in PUBG Mobile style.
Yeah, PUBG Mobile Cold War. Look, you know, name it better duo, so to speak, in this case. I like their position from Terra Esports, but it's very exposed. So if I was Terra Esports taking that first kill onto the members of AK-47, I would actually breach the hospital and take it out and then overtake Hospital. I
do actually really agree with that, because so many teams are going to slowly try and shift up, and it's not actually like a top tier mountain, right? You can get attacked from most positions. If they get attacked from the east, then they're going to be open for the west, and if they get attacked from the west, they're going to be open to the east. So they've got to be very careful. Exactly. They did go for the breach Imperium, which you did say. I believe they lost 1 member. No, there's still one on the mountaintop, actually. We can't see him on our screen. We can see him on your mini-map. But this is definitely the move you want to do. They got 4v3 breach potential, but because it's such a wild entry point, AK-47 could use their surprise factor of not knowing where they're currently located to take the fight against Terra.
But here's the thing, they didn't actually breach, it went around the outside. There just wasn't good stuff coming out. 1 member Yakuza going down. T-Push going to get the better of them, and that's going to be Yakuza going down. What did I say? you give a team a chance inside a compound, there's a higher chance they're going to lose it. That's exactly what happened. Yakuza will hopefully learn from this.
A little bit of a bittersweet fight. Like, we've been waiting for that fight to break out for the past 5 minutes, and we miss it on the camera feed when it actually breaks out. But at least we know now that Team Push will be coming out on top, so we can now close that chapter and open another one. Will be Terra versus AK-47. But now Terra, they're slowly moving it forward, trying to get into the other section of Hospital. They make it through, so now they are safe from other teams harassing it and potentially pulling off a third party. So now it's just going to relax a little bit, and they're going to try and fight back, find the first initial knockdown to potentially try and reverse the steam.
Yeah, good stuff by Goskilla eventually getting into Hospital. As I said, they could have done a much cleaner job of it to begin with. They hovered around the outside and it was just a little bit weak as a rotation down the hill. But for now, it's going to work out. They make their way through. And like we said, it's a 4 against 3. All the while, the blue zone is now starting to close in. The teams are getting closer into the circle. Is it going to shift down south for phase 4? We still have 14 teams, Max. 49 players up, so there is going to be that huge kind of Thanos snap, and we're going to lose a lot of teams in a couple of minutes.
It's definitely going to go down south pretty damn quickly, but talking about the position of Terra, this is why they had to shift. You can see now that we have 2 teams that currently have an angle on that little hill that there were a few minutes ago. That was actually REXPECT and OVN Esports. So if they were still there, 3 teams could potentially try and mow them down, and they would potentially already be out. So that was like the best decision Terra could have actually made, but now they can potentially share it out because you still have a pretty big cross-section between the 2 buildings of Hospital. As going to see in red team now taking over the Space
Cowboy Tower.
Space Cowboy, I would change every time. Okay, Space Cowboy Tower. Okay, it shifts away actually to the western coastline with still a lot of fields involved. Hospital, pretty sure that the next phase will not be involved, but now a few teams can try and take it up, but not many compounds to call home, Imperium.
If I was Elevate, I would actually rotate all the way up north, past the basically inside the South George, and go onto the west side coast. That's what I would do if I was Elevate.
I'm pretty sure REXPECT are doing exactly what you're saying. They're going to go through Southern George Pole, try and find a nice, cozy area to call home. As Terra and AK-47 still on another Cold War of this game, but they're trying to wait because if it shifts away from them, it's such a flat area around Hospital that if they don't shift right now, they're going to be killing out each other as they try to shift towards phase 5. A few more utility getting chucked once again, but that utility might want to keep it up because the chances of having a field finish coming up are actually pretty big.
It is, exactly. That's one big area that we didn't really talk about. The fields down the south of Hospital, it's flat, it's open. We're going to see a lot of snake, and utility will have to be used in those moments as Warlords get on the west side of this circle. PedjaDBoys are close by, as well as the team of UDR Killers.
Got PedjaDBoys just there. Got to be careful. They did lose Mamula, so they're going to be unfortunately losing 1. They'll be taking it potentially 3v4. But Team Warlords, their car was fuming. They had 3 members in it. Not going to lie, I was kind of stressing out, but they made it through. They made it to a safer position. They set it up next to a rock to a V formation. It gives them some nice defensive hold on to if they do get attacked from a team. But they are surrounded, but they can still relax because the angle they got on the mountain is actually pretty good. But as I say that is not going to go well for them. It's going absolute south, and Sans will be the last member still standing, well, crawling for Team Warlords, as he's going to try and keep his hopes alive of his squad, trying to snake it through as he becomes a bush. Many players becoming bushes in these games.
Yeah, Goskilla really putting the hurt on the Warlord. Good stuff on the engagement across the road, not going too aggressively. UDR Killers will hear all those shots. We'll see what's going on, as well as PedjaDBoys. Is really going to force Sans as the last member of Warlords to just stay prone in the grass, and hopefully he can cause a bit of an upset.
The red team and Goskilla going to be going for an absolute outgoing war. A few nice sprays comes out. I believe that was from Jonyo, Pinsara, Jex, and Elod pretty damn low. Whitey also will be following suit. They might want to try and reconsider. They're not in the best situation, and also if it does shift over to the north or over to the east, they're going to have to cross the road. There's already 3 teams setting up shop in that location. Goskilla's going to try and make the best play possible, try and shift to avoid getting pressured by the blue zone, but it's going to get pretty tricky for them.
Oh my god, the circle has actually shifted up. This field where the likes of MVP and Team Push is completely outside the circle. They've only got that buggy. That's going to be a tough rotation. Whatever way they go, they're going to be surrounded by teams north, south, central. You know, northwest or east, it's going to be so tough for the likes of MVP to rotate. And what was it? I mentioned elevate to rotate where REXPECT are. You said REXPECT rotating there. It's inside the circle. What can I say? I know my stuff.
Big Brain Imperium, guys. That's his new IGN. You got to rename on Twitter, Big Brain Imperium. But you're going to be seeing finally Terra sending 3 members up, trying to make the most out of it. But AK-47, because they did not clear out Hospital, they're going to get absolutely backstabbed. Broccoli going to be the first casualty, followed up by Spectre. B and Icy going to be remaining. Icy is still next to the building, trying to potentially hold on to his own backstab versus AK-47. But AK-47, they definitely want to put an end to this one. Going for a nice little split to have some snipers to assist that engagement while also trying to flush out the kills.
I don't get why Terra looked to disengage. That's kind of 5 out of 10 play from them. It's not what we've seen from them in the past. They're an aggressive team. They will always hold out for the fight. I don't know why they started to try and disengage. And as they do rotate, they're being surrounded by teams. That car is about to be blown up the closer they get to the circle.
Icy's about to blow up, but he's still going to try and get back to his team. He really does not want to give up on this one. AK-47 going to have a few members knocked away. Buzon is going to be upon them in 20 sheer seconds. But Godskiller right now, they could try and just go through the coastal line and try and potentially make it over to the northern side of the circle, because right now they haven't moved and they're going to get pressured by Blue Zone. Or maybe I'll have to cross this road, so I'm not really liking it again. 2 members knocked away. Reses are going to be even harder in phase number 5, about to close up on phase number 6. They have to do a move, and they have to do it now. I don't care what you do, but you have to do it instantaneously, because now the red team are going to move up a little bit higher.
Why aren't the red team going for the engage?
I don't know. They got 2 knockdowns.
Squad wipe. Yeah. You've gotten the knockdowns. Be aggressive all the while. Godskiller will get away by the skin of their teeth, and the remaining members of Terra Esports, Broccoli connecting onto AK-47.
Sans, oh my god, he's just been snaking there for ages and it's been paying off. He gets 1, he gets potentially even 2. But he's going to be left alone, find himself 2 knockdowns, and that's definitely super worth it. But we're going to go over to UDR Killers, going for the red team. The fight's going to be ongoing. Golf going to make his best, does get a knockdown, makes it 1-for-1 trade. But unfortunately, him and his team will not make it out alive. The red team eliminated in 10th position.
Plus, the blue zone has closed up. UDR Killers just about getting in there.
Still there.
Shifted up north. MVP holding on. PedjaDBoy just ahead. Sans from Warlords. You mentioned the punishing he did onto red team. Can he do the same for the other teams?
Danny, does he get scattered out by Herbs? No, he doesn't. PedjaDBoy still not quite in circle. They're going to have to move out, but a lot of teams are fighting each other on the east. They might just create a nice opening for him. Unfortunately, Team Warlords will be dying out. I'm not sure if it was 7th or 8th position, but he did die, unfortunately. So they will not be going any further in this game. But Terra Esports with a high ground position, that means they're going to have to tumble downhill, Imperium, and elevate. They're freaking ready to take you down.
Elevate. They've been so fortunate with their rotations. They haven't been quick, but it's worked out up until this point. But you're being pinched by a number of teams. Pocus from behind is being knocked out. Kaylas gets knocked out. Bear is going to be able to get the job done. And is that the end? No, that's not quite the end of Elevate. Just Zuku left standing.
No, there's actually a member behind them. There's actually there's 2 members of Elevate. Oh, look at that, Will. This is why you want to try and split it up, because if you lose your team on the front line, you still have 1 to make up and can potentially serve as a snake to aim for a little bit more positioning points and just flushing out a few kills. So I do actually like how Elevate pulled it off. It was just really hard on them. A lot of teams are surrounding them. So it was, of course, going to be pretty harsh. As Will, I believe, got scattered up by Icy's definitely got his eyes locked on him with that Mini 14. 30 bullets ready to go straight into the face of Will. But unfortunately, he's got to move up too, because they got a hard shift over to the west.
I'm sorry, but how the hell did Terra manage to survive as a full squad? That is absolutely unbelievable. Danny takes out Will, kills him. That's going to be 1 man left for Elevate, and all the while the teams on the south. Terra just popping off against MVP.
Danny going to try and take that buggy, but you know that at this stage, taking a buggy with so many teams around, he's not going to work out. But Zuku's going to try too, and there you go. Exact same scenario done for Danny and also for Zuku. Getting headshot by Beer with the AUG. Now, PedjaDBoy still in play, but they slowly got to shift up north once again. Terra Esports absolutely dominating this game so far. With still 4 members alive, they got already 2 chicken dinners, Imperium, and they are not giving away a 3rd.
But the circle is not in their favor. It's in the favor of Terra Esports up on top of that hill. It's not too bad for REXPECT, but the fact that there's a road in the way, Max, makes it incredibly difficult. The good thing is that because they stayed safe, you got to wonder how much utility do they have in their arsenal to throw out their smokes to get across the road.
REXPECT, use that utility if you can, but also PedjaDBoys are there. I'm pretty sure the REXPECT had that kind of information. So what you want to do is wait for PedjaDBoys and Terra Esports to fire up against each other. When you hear the gunshots, that's when you breach, because both teams are going to be ready and it'll help you out. I think they might be going a little bit too early, so they've got to be careful. They still got 35 seconds where they can avoid confrontation. Just set up your cast, but again for it right now, I'm not a big fan of it, but REXPECT are going to go in the open arms of Terra Esports as, oh, Jerby drops to his death. What is going on? That's not how you play PUBG Mobile, my friend. As Spectra with the high ground, going to get one, not going to get a second, unfortunately, as Wasson is able to respond accordingly behind that tree. But it is Terra Esports just dropping like flies. There's only Broccoli remaining, but we know what that player can do as a one-man army.
Oh my god, he's gonna throw a smoke. PedjaDBoys were a little bit punishing. Caster from REXPECT with the Uzi was able to get the knockdown, the incremental knockdown, and this has favored PedjaDBoys. They're hearing the shots. We're down to the final 3 teams. Can they get a surprising chicken dinner in play for the first game of the day? Gonna throw one grenade, gonna throw this another. Is that gonna be a Kobe in there? And he is.
They're right there. Come on, go get him. They're so cool. He's going for the spray in the smoke, but he doesn't get it. Broccoli just still barely surviving, but there you go. He will be indeed taken out at the end of the day. Terra taking 3rd position. It's going to be between REXPECT and PedjaDBoys. Herbs is going to be going down to the Uzi play of Caster. They're going to be slowly moving uphill. PedjaDBoys should not allow this, but they are indeed. And look at that. They all go down, and REXPECT, despite the team with the worst position at the end, had to cross the road. They made it through, and they pulled off the best engagement I've seen in this late game circle, made the most out of it as they secure their chicken dinner of the day.
To be honest, the second they got across the road, they were actually in the better position. When you're in late game, Max, it's always better to be on the low ground than it is on high ground. Yeah, it wasn't clean. They didn't make it easy. Managing to knock their own teammate out with a vehicle didn't help. But at the end of the day, they got the job done. They got the knockdowns on the Terror, pushed them back. They did get a little bit of help from PedjaDBoys, and PedjaDBoys were fortunate to kind of not be a bit tougher on their engagement, maybe a little bit earlier. They didn't close out Terra Esports, gave too much of a chance of REXPECT to heal up, and REXPECT closed it out.
PedjaDBoys, these are the games that they need to do to make it through. PedjaDBoys starting off the day in actually 29th position with 29 points. Now, they almost get the same amount of points that they got throughout the entire tournament, like one game, a little bit less, of course, but these are the games that have a chance of redeeming the entire first 2 days they had so far and get themselves in top 24 where you need to be to go over to the semi-finals. So PedjaDBoys, use this a bunch more times and you might actually just save your skin.
By the way, I've been proven wrong straight away, by the way, Max. I've been proven wrong.
Instant karma.
I said they weren't going to, and then, yeah, they've just gone, no, you know, screw you, Imperium.
What's this Irish guy saying, man?
Look like a fool, yeah. We're going to put egg on your face. But honestly, I am incredibly happy and proud for them. I said I'm open to being proven wrong. They've proven me wrong. Great stuff for them. Also, Terra Esports, honestly, they made mistakes, but their sheer talent and ability as a team to stay going got them that 3rd place.
Yeah, just their skill overall just made up for it. I don't know how the hell they survived their encounter in Hospital versus AK-47. And actually even got the team squad wipeout right after. I did not think they would survive, or at least not survive as a 4-man team. Great play from them. One team I think that has really improved a lot on this game is actually going to be Elevate. Of course, there were a few little nick and crannies where there's still little things to work on. But this is definitely a step in the right direction for Elevate. Now do this on the next 3 games, 2, 3, and game number 4. If they keep on proving on that, I'm sure they have a really good chance of just making it up to the semi-finals. They're already in there, but it's just to stay safe.
And honestly, I'm going to say no, it wasn't. Because when I look at what their weaknesses were, I mentioned they should have rotated super quickly up onto the north. Like, nothing against REXPECT, but they could have taken out REXPECT. But either way, if they don't go for the rotation when they need to, as quickly as they need to, they're just not helping themselves. Yeah, they held on, they survived. But that's not what Elevate want to be about. They don't want to be a team that survives. They want to be a team that frags out. They want to be a team that are dominating. And that's why I'm going to say no. It's actually not a step in the right direction. It's okay, but it's
improvement. I would say.
No, it's not.
Really?
It's not an improvement. It's not. It's really not. The rotations, you know, in the late game were slow. They were weak, and that they were just good enough to get them in the 4th place.
Okay. I just think it was like one mini step in the right direction, but like they got to keep evolving on that offshore because they still got 3 games. So if they work on that rotation, like the speed of rotation is one of the points that I had to talk about eventually, that they have to work on. They were just very slow, and that's why they really struggled. They were always on the edge of circle, which is not really their play style. They were a team during scrims that always aimed for center circle, played extremely aggressive, denying so many teams to find a better position. But this is not the Elevate we've seen there. They still got the exact same play style, but the rotations are definitely what are shutting them down, and I think that's what they tried to improve on this game. I see definitely the intention, but it just wasn't that well executed. So Elevate, game 2, 3, 4, got to do a little bit better on that, but still it's the 4th position. Keep them where they want, but you got to see a little bit better from them because otherwise moving over into the regional finals is going to be very harsh with these kind of performances.
Yeah, exactly. Another team that I want to highlight as well is Yakuza. You know, that fight in Gaka went on for far too long against Team Push. They should have closed out early on, and they ended up being punished for. Guys, if you see a team breaching in on your compound at that stage of the game, past phase 1, phase 2 onwards, maybe phase 3 onwards, but, you know, sorry, definitely phase 3 onwards, but either way, at that point, you got to close out. You can't give them the space, and that's what went against Yakuza.
Fortunately for them, hopefully they can just be a little bit more aggressive next time around. Team Push, I mean, they got the most out of it. They got the position. They got all the loot for themselves.
Exactly.
Able to easily rotate through. So, nice job from Team Push at the end. They got exactly what they needed from that Gaka fight. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this game. We're going to go real quick over the schedule of the day in case you guys were not here at the very start of the broadcast. We finished our first Erangel game. Congratulations to REXPECT taking the first chicken dinner of the day. We'll be going on to game number 2 in a few short minutes. It will be Sanhok, followed up with Vikendi and Erangel to close up day number 5. Guys, stay around. We'll be back shortly for our second game on Sanhok. Myself and Imperium are just chilling around for a few minutes, and we'll be back to bring you the action. And we are back. Thanks so much for waiting, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to jump into our second game of day number 5 of the European Spring Split PMCO 2020. And this is going to be, of course, a good old Sanhok game. Going to be very aggressive, but got to say, last game, insane performance from REXPECT, taking their chicken dinner for the day. And we're going to be moving to even more aggressive playstyle. Imperium, how's it going once again?
Oh boy, yeah, REXPECT, man. They moved up from 14th to 8th with that result. And it's not just the fact that they moved up from 14th to 8th. It's the fact that they overtook teams that are in these groups with them. They overtook AK-47. They overtook Skilla. They overtook Warlords. That's a really good improvement for them. So I know the teams around them like have less games, etc. But the teams that are in their group, that's where they want to jump over. And then PedjaDBoy on the opposite end of the scale, after a fantastic result, they moved up from they moved up from 29th to 22nd. You know, huge improvement from them in the standings, getting into that golden 24.
This is great from them. After what you got to know is that after today's games, this is what we said for Group A and Group D, they will not have any more influence on their scores. So PedjaDBoy, while they have the time with their 3 more games, they've got to score as many kill points and positioning points as they humanly possibly can do. Because after that, tomorrow, they're just going to have to bite their nails in anticipation to see where they will be currently located. But this is great from PedjaDBoys. This is exactly what they needed to potentially get qualified for the semi-finals, to just buy them more time. And I'm hoping for other teams to do the exact same.
And that's why I'm being, so to speak, harsh. And I'm even going to bring MVP Gaming into this, but Elevate as well, because you're seeing these teams that are kind of, you know, in the lower standings, getting these strong results, getting these, you know, 10, 15, 16 point games. And when you come into tomorrow games, when you have the likes of Team Legend, you know, We Are Vietnamese and etc. Esports, they could all get strong games and push the likes of Elevate and MVP Gaming down. So these two teams, Elevate and MVP, they need to really step it up on these next 3 games.
Because you're not safe if you're under the 50%. Even not like if you're to around like, what, 14th, 15th position, you're still not safe around there. So better rush it high as fast as you possibly can, as early as you possibly can, because otherwise you might get them back exactly where I'm thinking. Imperium, we're going to go on our very first Sanhok day of day 5 and day 6. And you know what? Sanhok is going to be a great map, as we've said multiple times already. It's going to be for OVN Esports. They got 3rd position. And I can't wait to see what they can try and do on this map, because it's where they're the most comfortable on Sanhok and Vikendi. And they're the team that has been doing pretty good consistently. They've been there. But Sanhok is where they can try and score as many points on this specific game.
Yeah, when you're looking at Sanhok, the teams that have gotten chicken dinners in there have been Team Dope and Hate Gaming. Of course, Team Dope not playing today, but Hate Gaming, they got a chicken dinner on Sanhok there in day 1. Let's see if they can repeat it, because I would say they need that kind of result. They've had lackluster performances that have dropped them down in the overall standings. That will always affect your morale and mentality. So let's see if they can climb it back up in Sanhok. And I'm not going to lie, Max, I'm kind of happy that we don't have a Miramar game today. I like the fast-paced action when casting Sanhok. I don't like playing it, but I do like casting it.
I don't think the players like playing it either. It's so brutal on the teams. A lot of snake and a lot of gatekeeping and third parties. But yeah, the map really shows how team deals under pressure. So I think it's a really good way to represent that. And no, Sanhok, the team with the most synergy plays the better. And the teams that rotate the most efficiently plays better too. So we'll be seeing which one of these teams has the better synergy and also rotation potential. So that's where Elevate, I want to see them shine. If they do good on Sanhok, it shows that there's an improvement. We'll see how it goes for their second game of the day.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm holding out, right? You know, I'm kind of reserving some stuff because I know that Sanhok is unpredictable. You mentioned it with the third partying, with the, you know, with the snaking. It is unpredictable. So any team can take, and that's where it could be up for the teams that are down at the bottom. Another strong performance from PedjaDBoys, maybe Team Push getting a good result. It can happen.
Also, one thing we didn't talk about is real quick, it's just for the top dogs of the tournament. Terra Esports, they were in 3rd position behind Cream. Now they're back in 2nd position with 157. Right behind Next has 165. So the chances of seeing Terra get back in 1st position are there. But, you know, Next are not playing, Cream are not playing. Magic are not playing, so if they might take first position, but it will be only temporary. But here it is. Our game of Sanhok is coming up. We're going to go straight over the mountainside, pretty close to the area of boot camp, and this is going to be very focused on the west.
Yeah, but either way, we're going to see either a southwest or a northwest circle, in my opinion. I know. Look, that's what I'm predicting. It's calculated.
Is it reverse psychology again?
Yeah, maybe. It didn't work really last time, but let's see if it'll work again. Elevate, gonna look to land around the Samhi area. That's where they do like to go. Ghost Skilla are gonna drop down by around Quarry to the north of it. REXPECT going by Camp Alpha. UDR Killers going up by Hatting. I like the fact that, because I believe previously we saw UDR Killers and I think AK-47 dropping Hatting, so I do like the fact that they've avoided it, but they've dropped in the same spot as Yakuza.
Still a chance of it going over to the east, so we'll have to keep that one out. OVN Esports being pretty split. There's a few teams around. They're going to be very careful because I think Team Push, they're going to try and potentially steal a few early game frags. But Kao at the very high up north, AK-47, going to be getting himself a little bit involved.
Oh boy, this is now going to be kicking off between AK-47 and Yakuza. We saw Yakuza in the first game of the day losing out on that team fight against Team Push. Will it be a repeat in Sanhok? Hopefully they'll learn from their mistakes and improve.
I'll play a little bit more aggressive on this one, and as a squad, synergize pretty well. As I said, that's something. Sanhok slowly going to try and push on forward. As a squad, which I really like of their playstyle, they're very aggressive.
You're already aggressive. You know, it's all about trying to get a little bit of a loadout in this early stage of game. If I was Yakuza, I would actually disengage early on, once you're relatively happy with the loot that you have. And if I was, you know, AK-47, they're riding pretty high on strong results. Why not go for the engage?
Also, I think that Yakuza have a good potential to rotate because they're not backed up against the wall, unlike AK-47. They can rotate down south, a nice entry point, go towards Paradise Resort. But, ooh, Hainan, Danny's going to be knocked away for MVP Gaming.
That's going to be an unfortunate confirmation, I feel. Yes, Necron. It is. Although, actually, no, Necron does get knocked down. So, Terror and MVP. MVP, I said, one of the teams that they needed to get a good result. They're falling flat on their faces in the early parts of this Sanhok game.
Yeah, then 17th, they can't have another bad performance. So otherwise, you know, the other teams of Group B and C, they are ready to take that spot away from you. At least they rotate away, they make it up. They're not going to lose everyone, so they still have a chance on this Sanhok game.
Yeah, and Sanhok is a type of map where you can survive as a two-man team, even a one-man team, snake your way through and get a second, third position result if you play your cards right. It's never going to be easy, but yes, it's that kind of map.
Happening for them. Hopefully they can got some pretty good loot. They got pushed out of Panam pretty quickly. Oh, Whitey from Goskilla going to be taken out. I mean, if he gets flushed away, he's going to be serving purely as IGL. The Team Push, very split this time around. OVN, they were the one that were very split at the start. They're going to go straight for Bobby. Bobby going to get engaged. Can he take it 1v4? It's going to be pretty hard. We all know it. Where's the Vector? Here we go. No way, Jose. He will be the first casualty of his squad. OVN getting their second kill of this game.
Oh, Bobby, the IGL of Team Push, gets taken out early on. Besso was a little bit kind of more forward, wasn't able to help his teammate out. That's going to be Team Push down to 3 players.
This is what I wanted to see from Ryan on Erangel earlier. He's going for the flank. They're learning apparently from their mistakes. Viper got knocked away. That's going to be opening a nice entry point throughout the northern section. But unfortunately, they've got one member who got knocked away on the east of Cal, so maybe go for their own res. But nice spray down from Ryan. And this is a complete different Yakuza, at least in this rotation.
Well, it's great play by Ryan, but is he spreading himself a little bit too thin? He's gotten one knockdown. He's alerted the attention of AK-47, but they'll be able to get their own revives out. So if you're going to go for the revive, don't go for the counter knockdown, in my opinion, in this case, because all he's done is alerted the attention of AK-47.
After he got knocked down, you know, maybe hoping for his team to get the extra flush, but that will not be happening. One thing is good is that Whitey is back in play. Whew, we can now relax. Goskilla still have their IGL, so they can try and find a nice position. They also got a pretty good compound in play, so happy with them. But Ryan going for the engage towards Dexter.
Gonna be able to use the side of the wall for now. Let's see if he does engage forward. But go Skillet, they're not safe yet. G-Space is there, overlooking them from the high ground, and now Bjorian has a Uzi in his hand. Look to climb forward and get closer to the rest of his team.
Bimby, I would like if he got a little bit closer because there's so many buildings that I don't think from the high ground he's helping out his team too much from the east. JW trying to just give information in that bin over to his squad. So really this is another passive war. Yakuza had the good idea, but they weren't able to turn in anything grand.
Well, see, here's the thing. Yeah, I agree with you, but the high ground, AK-47, as soon as they focus on the likes of Ryan JW and Boomy, then Bimby will be able to possibly strike. It's not going to be easy for Yakuza, but it could definitely work out.
The cross sections are so small here. I don't see him have the impact, especially if AK-47 are being very wary from the east, because you talked about the shots they took earlier. It gave information. They know someone is potentially there, so I think they'll take that into account. Top killers, they're going to take a nice crossroad section compound. One of the easiest areas to defend when you are playing on Sanhok.
Yeah, and one thing that we didn't really kind of talk about was this phase 1 circle. You mentioned it, but it's surprisingly kind of more heavily up north. Not too many teams dropped super down south. The teams are relatively spread out quite nicely, and because that phase 1 circle is more heavily towards the central part of the circle, there is a lot of space and room for teams to rotate effectively without getting third party in the early parts of this game.
And definitely when you have a northern circle, he's going to have just so many more compounds to play with. Ryan is still hiding the information, trying to see if AK-47 want to transhift away. The nade will get cooked away. Viper might want to be a little bit careful. He's going to get straight back into the building, playing it safe. AK-47 just leaving Rana very far away. Ugh, pretty careful.
Again, I can't help but feel like, you know, if you're Yakuza, just disengage at this point. AK-47, look, they're safe in the overall standings. They're sitting pretty. They don't really need to worry about things too much. But Yakuza, come on. Think a little bit more clearly. Be aware of the late game potential that you have to put yourself in.
And Bimby finally moving away a little bit higher up north. This is the kind of location I wanted him to try and get into. But we have a then a 2-2 split. The molly coming out will not connect on Boomy, unfortunately. But the 2-2 split of AK-47, I like it, trying to wrap around and do a nice sandwich. As Goskula and PedjaDBoy, they're going to be clashing on the other side of the map.
They are indeed. Goskilla, they weren't safe. They got away from GSMC.
Oh,
now they're going right into the hands of Goskilla. Nice by Ryan.
That was a perfectly cooked nade, going to be now closing up. Yakuza, if this is the point you wanted to play aggressive, this is the exact moment to do so. You got a 4v3 man advantage. They were not in the same compound, so Res will potentially not come on through. But they are slowly trying to close up.
A lovely, bubbly grenade. And now they're going to drive forward.
Rana.
Nice push by Yakuza.
Go for Rana, maybe in the building there. He gets sprayed on through, but he has the Uzi. Rana's going to be potentially reloading, though, switching straight over to his own Uzi. And as the fight does break out, he gets the first one, but now he's reloading. Can he make it out? No, he can't. It's going to be a one-on-one knockdown, but they will be confirming a flush for Yakuza. That's going to be their very first point in this game. And now AK-47 might be a smart play to just get the hell out of Cow.
Yeah, just get the hell out of Cow. Rotate away. Good stuff by Yakuza. It was a little bit dirty. It was a little bit unclean, but it still worked out. The first knock was that prime spot. Like, the way they reacted to that first knock was very sweet, but it was definitely a little bit uncoordinated after that.
And the first time you want to get information after they got it, they definitely played a lot better. But Terra, yeah. Ooh, and Warlord, they're going to be clashing. Would like to see those fights. Spectre going to get knocked away. Team Warlord seem like they definitely got a pretty good encounter. Terra are losing their footing on the kill feed. We'll have to see if it does go south for them. And a few kills actually getting confirmed. So not looking too good for the aggressive team of Terra, as Icy is potentially the last member.
Don't know exactly how true that is. You could be right, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think he is. Warlords have the high ground, overlooking them. This is what Sanhok can do, baby. Nice rotation by Dale. Knows he's behind a rock. Fire and comes out. Nice response. Dale takes out Terror. First team out.
Despite their third position last game in Erangel, this time it will be top 16. The UDR killer is going to get slowly a bit of utility of militia. Not going to result in too much, but UDR killers still have a pretty nice position.
MVP, they lost 2 members early on in Painan at the hands of Terror, surprisingly. Because they disengage, they're actually a team that are looking a bit stronger. But it's still not over. They're on the high ground on the west, and unless the circle goes in their favor, they're going to have to rotate very quickly.
Is phase 2. Where shall it go? AK-47 in the northern side going to be losing an extra member, but it's going to be pretty good for most of the team, pretty central. Most of the teams are in, except for Top Killers and G-Space. A lot of room on the east, especially northeast. But yeah. Yakuza really pushing forward for those last few frags on AK.
And that's what I talked about. Like, there is plenty of space for these teams to rotate away. If I was the red team, though, I would actually disengage away from the central part of Paradise Resort. Go around the edge of it, of course, but you're not gaining any information by staying inside Paradise.
They're going for a path, trying to really not take Yakuza head on, but Yakuza finally playing a bit more aggressive. It was a bit slow, but the idea was definitely there, so way better than their game on the Erangel. They got taken out by Team Push. Now, really, this is not a point where you should focus down. It's not worth it. It's not going to result in too much.
I like this from Yakuza, though. I like the way they're not giving up, because if they give up, they could be stabbed in the back by AK-47 down the line. They want to get rid of their opponents on kind of that side of the circle and then push down south.
I just hope they're not going to overcommit to it, because like another team could try and come around. And also, this is mostly like not an area you can actually climb up on. AK-47 not going to get too much, but he sees his feet. Get the knockdown on Burian. No!
Oh my god.
Bim. Maybe he's going to go in as a scout, a water scout. Don't drop two. There you go. No! God damn it.
Oh my lord.
Oh.
Can we have a lifeguard in Sanhok, please? Can we have a lifeguard?
JW, get away from the coastal line. I don't like it. It's scaring me, mate. Dexter made it over on the mainland, I believe. He's on the mainland now, trying to run away for his life, but
wow.
Kind of oof.
Okay. Sorry, but that was just kind of funny. Good job by Yakuza. Honestly, like outside the kind of entertainment side of it, really good job. I like the commitment. It's not quite the squad right, but 3 kills for them.
Definitely way better than their first game, so step in the right direction. OVN, they got a good compound. As I said, a big contestant for this game on Sanhok. They got, I believe, his 3rd position on their very first Sanhok game. So let's see if we can try and replicate this one on this second Sanhok them. But we're going to shift on the east.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be easier for MVP, that 2-man team, just rotate across the river to the mainland. Hater in a good spot team push, looking a little bit risky. Warlords on fire. They took down the first team of the day. And then Elevate, again, late. Okay, you know what? I'm going to hold judgment, but for now, why on the edge? Just why?
I don't know. It just doesn't suit them. And I think that even then, they don't play it accordingly, because they're such a hard time. They like playing aggressive every once in a while. So, and they're still a few compounds, so they can shift now, and it wouldn't be like too late, even though it kind of is. So I would like to see them go for a shift eventually in the next few minutes.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as the next phase shows up, phase 3, react to it as quickly as possible. I could see it shifting down south towards Paradise Resort for sure, but it can also shift still to the west coastline and have the river as part of it.
REXPECT, they are the team that last game, they got the chicken dinner. They had a really hard position, had to cross the road, and now they're slowly going to get very close to OVN, so hopefully they don't get too scouted out. As you go over to Gorskiller, Whitey going to be knocked again. Whitey and get knocked away. Better love story than Twilight as so far on this Sanhok game. G-Space really trying to close up, not giving enough time to res.
His vest must be absolutely shattered. Now this is going to be the key time for G-Space to drive through to go for the engagement. Psycho has a vector in his hand, ready to strike and twist on top of the roof. I
like his position. He's got to be very cautious about Elod. I think he's only focused on one area. That's going to be the northern side of this compound. He's got to keep all of this area opened up. He's going to go for the molly. It's barbecue time, baby, and Whitey will be cooked to perfection.
Very nice. Really clean by Twist. I like it from G-Space. Go Skilla. You're down to 2 players. Oh my lord. All the while, G-Space as a 3-man team are ready to strike even further and put the fear in the eyes of their opponents.
Savage X and Elod, they're getting the hell out of here. They're no doubt to go downhill, so the earlier the better for them to find a better spot to actually fight back if they do get chased on. And G-Space, just be very careful. We once again, they're very respectful. And not going to go overboard for this one.
I like the fact that Savage X just kind of rotated around even for a sec. Just to kind of go, wait, okay, we're behind a rock, but are we safe from teams around us? It's just that little thing that'll make a difference. As Magic from Team Push. Okay.
I believe that was AK-47 eliminated in 15th, because they only had one member that was Dexter, and that is going to be them taking the 15th slot in this game. Gaming, they still have 4 members, not going to be losing MZ or Neymar early on this time around, so definitely a way better shot for Chicken Dinner this time. Well, Paradise Resort getting a little bit crowded.
Like I said, I wouldn't agree with Team Red being inside Paradise Resort. The circle has shifted away from them. It stayed up towards the north side with the river in play, where Yakuza and AK-47 has landed. Now Team Red have to disengage, and all the while teams have gotten closer around them on this south side of the circle. So really, yes, slow and not good enough from Red, but it could work out in their favor.
The thing is, when you rotate has multiple teams away from Paradise Resort, it's such a weird area to play with because you're pretty sure the fight's going to break out. And as I just said, here it is, Phantom getting headshot. They fight back pretty well, though, getting a knockdown of their own on Golf. Both teams really try and take the better position, but not quite able to turn in too much, just one knockdown each.
All the while, Mao stabbed in the back, Savage X onto Johnny will be taken down. And now we're seeing Elod being knocked down from Ghost Skilla. So just one man left standing. The teams are getting closer. The action's starting to kick off. Team Red avoiding Warlords for now.
There's actually 3 teams on the east of Paradise that have potentially somewhat are going to get involved later on down the line, so they're going to be very careful. The red team find a compound. Here, the better play would be to just hold a compound now as in circle, wait for their teams to potentially make it out, because I don't see them survive if they transhift any further.
Plus, you have Elevate that are coming in as well into Paradise Resort, and Hate. So this is going to be 4 teams in the close Paradise Resort area on the side of the southeast circle.
And even got PedjaDBoys on the northern side across the road, just ready to try and snipe a few kills, maybe steal a few away. I mean, they had a really good game earlier on Erangel, and they made it up in the Goldilocks zone to get qualified for the semi-finals. So if they keep on going that way, I'll be fine. But Team Warlords now getting sandwiched up. They're not too much of a fan of this.
No, now they're just going to have to sit pretty, stay safe, hope that they don't get spotted out, and allow the teams around them to take each other out.
Now, the red team putting down, waiting for things to calm down. Elevate slowly going to make it over to the area of Paradise Resort, and they are already in Paradise Resort, slowly making it over to the red team. They're going to be very careful and hold on 2 lines over to the east and the west. The red team have been struggling to hold down on compounds. Can they make it work out perfectly this time around?
They just put themselves in a pickle, Max. They put themselves in a position where they can't go anywhere. They essentially, right now, have dug their own grave.
I like Elevate, though. Like, they played it so passively. Like, okay, this compound is somewhat... we're going to hell out of here. We're going to shift down south.
I still wouldn't agree with Elevate going into Paradise Resort, but look, it is what it is. I'm going to wait and hold out. These teams will clash together eventually. All the while, the circle has once again shifted away. It has gone down south. So G-Space, PedjaDBoys, they are going up against each other.
Smoke's going to be coming up. Psycho, unfortunately, going to be tanking up some blueberries, bleeding out also, so he might be the majority of his squad. We'll have to wait and see. Warlord still... Backfly being very, very split away from his team, and that's why he's going to be the only man remaining. And Elevate, they're going for the rotation I thought was the best. Of course, going in Paradise Resort was a little bit tricky, but they make the most out of it.
Well, they're lucky because the circle has actually shifted down south, so it's gone towards them. But they will want to clear out the teams that are in Paradise Resort for now, the likes, of course, the red team and Warlords.
I think that they could even like just go on the edge of the circle. I think they would be safe because there are 2 teams still there. Of course, trying to gatekeep Johnny and Twist away. But Johnny able to heal up, so this will buy him a lot of precious time.
Oh man, both of these teams are just trying to get into circle. This is Sanhok. The zone's closing so quickly. Herbs getting close to top killers.
Eco trying to get himself a nice position. Wants to try and flank and open a nice spot for them. But he fights back. Rudy will get the first one. And it will be Herbs flushing that one away. That's going to be their 1st point in the game. Playing pretty damn aggressive. Really proud of PedjaDBoys. These are the games they have to pull off today to get himself in a nice position.
They're taking control of their own destiny, and I absolutely love to see it.
Fast.
I counted them out, but I'll tell you what, I've changed my mind.
Boss, not again. He's going to be taken out first for his team. Top killers trying to engage thoroughly through the east, but the red team still... like, all these teams, they're taking so long to actually start moving away. Phase 5 is going to mess them up, like, significantly.
And here's the thing. In scrims, I would have said about Elevate holding on to Edge's Circle Zone and Sanhok. Fine, great. But their morale is down, their confidence is down. And when you go in an engagement with a lack of confidence, there's a higher chance they're going to lose that team fight. And that's why holding on to center circle position in Sanhok when your confidence is down is way more important.
Just like Hate Gaming and OVN, they absolutely spot on this circle shift. Should not really harm them too heavily. Now going to be closing up Imperium. Where might it take? Oh, well, I guess we won't see. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Killers, Yakuza. Oh, where is it?
It still goes down south. It stays down south by Paradise Resort. I believe it's gone against OVN, but it stayed within the realms of Hate Gaming in the center circle of Zuku. Up high, looking over for top. Killers. There's still red team. There's still Warlords. 4 teams on the southeast side of the map.
Elevate still not giving up on this position. I'm really surprised they want to hold it. Not too many teams down south. I think they could go for it. But Hate Gaming, I believe they're still in circle. We'll have to check on a minimap when we have an overview. But I think they are definitely set up for victory on this game. They already got victory on Sanhok, so they'll try and get their second over the board. Elevate, very split.
Again, similar to the red team, they put themselves into this position. They've dug their own grave.
Top Killers too, yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, top. Well, no, they have a bit more space. They can rotate up north if they want to.
Yeah, they're going to have to cross the road, though, if they want to do that, so they've got to be very cautious. And I think that, yeah, I was about to say PedjaDBoys are still located there, so some snipe action could come on through. But PedjaDBoys, Yakuza are going to be clashing on through. Bimby will be knocked away. Will the flush happen? Not too sure. But here, there's so much room down south. They can try and just spread out a little bit more. Just move away from Paradise. You don't need to stay there.
I like that from Elevate. Really clean, protective. They're going down south, getting away from the action, creating more space. I really like it.
I think they could have done a little bit earlier just to avoid getting confronted, but luckily they got the res on Class, so he's still in play. The red team, luckily for them, the circle was in their favor, so they don't have to move, so they can just wait for the fight to happen around them before getting involved. But UDR Killers, not looking too good. We're down to already 10 teams, and UDR Killers will indeed get eliminated in 11th spot.
Oh my god, PedjaDBoy, what has happened to you? Pulling off an AK-47.
Wow, this is the kind of game we want to go for. Nice break coming out from Golf. Unfortunately, does get a knockdown, but still increases your damage stats just a little bit to look extra cool in the overall standings. Elevate still making it through, but you have 2 members are still pushing forward to the red team. I don't understand why you want to do that.
Look how close top killers are to Team Red. They're basically walls apart.
Neighbors.
Let's hope the soundproofing insulation is good in this building.
I'm coming to pick up some sugar. Here's your sugar, mate. Oh my god, he puts down to mid HP. PUBG's gonna run away. Back to the rock. That was definitely a pretty close call. Then he got knocked down though. The rares, not too sure that's gonna be happening. Jar also in the building. Oh my god. It just just a few millimeters away, but still not quite able to find each other.
Oh, Zard has been knocked down by Zuku. Some good stuff by Elevate. That's gonna be hopefully putting themselves in a position where they can confirm the kill, but they're not going too aggressively. I like it. The revive inside the blue zone is going to go against them as Team Red try to hold on.
Oh, he was just actually right behind him. He's got to be very careful, but the red team still with 4 members. They're finally going to be moving out of the compound, trying to find a few frags along the way. Top Killers, unfortunately, going to have a little bit of a hard encounter. OVN2, Warlords losing backfire. The kill feed is absolutely lighting up, and we knew that was going to happen on the eastern circle, rotating away from Paradise Resort. But here it is. Class going to go for his engagement, trying to get red team down, flushing it out. They need every single kill they can. They got already 7 Imperium, and Butter will be following suit. And Class, being the absolute beast he is, he's going to be clearing up Paradise Resort.
Good stuff from Elevate. 9 kills so far. They're proving me wrong. They're showing confidence. It's exactly what you need to do as top killers are gonna go out. And now the circle has shifted away from Elevate, but they're in the top 3. Really, really impressed by their drive, their determination, and the concentration from Elevate.
This is almost the exact same kind of circle we had earlier on Erangel Imperium. 3 teams, 1 on the other side of the roams, the 2 other out, cancelling out each other. Now, the team that did win it last time, that was actually in the position of PedjaDBoys, was REXPECT. We'll have to see if PedjaDBoys can pull off a REXPECT and make it forward, hopefully waiting for Elevate and Hate Gaming to cancel out each other.
That's a really good point. Yeah, Elevate can kind of hold on. There is a few rocks in between. Because the road is out in the open, it does give them more sight to spot out PedjaDBoys. I can see PedjaDBoys going down in 3rd, first up down.
Yeah, PedjaDBoy unfortunately not quite able to pull off a REXPECT. They're going to have only Mamula remaining. The smoke is buying some time. The blue zone is closing up, but you're going to have to force on through. He's tanking the blue a little bit, trying to get as many kills as he can in the process. Gets MZ, knocks him down. He knows to go for the flush. He has no time to do so, and there you go, gets him. And now, because Elevate know the fires are going on through, that's a second knockdown coming over for the man, the myth, the legend class himself, but unfortunately pushing a little bit too solo and will get put on his knees.
He goes a bit too aggressively, but has he given enough for the rest of his team to drive through? And that's going to be game over. This blue zone close in, and Hate take it in the end.
8 Gaming taking their second chicken dinner on Sanhok. They just absolutely awesome on this map. They read the circle perfectly. They move on forward once again with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kills. That took a little bit of time, but there you go. 9 kills for 8 Gaming and a chicken dinner. Really proud of you boys. Finally ending up that loose streak and ending up their bad day they had on their second.
Max, Elevate, 14 points for second place, 9 kills. That's going to be 23 points. Their total points up until this game was 68. They've gotten basically over 1/3 of their total points in one game. That's the Elevate I want to see. That's the confidence I want to see. Yes, I questioned them holding on to the edge of the circle. I questioned them going into Paradise Resort. But hey, look. They played it right. They were a full squad, and they got the kills that counted.
We can say they made the most out of a sticky situation, so congratulations, class, just pulling in clutch and getting the most of the red team down. Going to be checking out the other side of the leaderboards, but PedjaDBoy's Imperium once again showing up to the party. They get so many frags there too. That's actually going to be 11 kills. They get themselves in the 3rd position. They're pulling off the biggest reverse Uno card I've ever seen, and Imperium, they're definitely showing you that they can do it and they deserve to go to the semi-finals.
You know what? Yeah, I would well agree, and I'll tell you what, this is going to hurt the likes of MVP and GSMC because both those teams didn't have strong results. Like MVP finished in 12th and GSMC finished in 13th. Like, so those are weird, like, when you think about it, like, PedjaDBoys are automatically going to hop ahead of those two teams alone, which is going to put them in a safer position and create the extra cushion.
And then OVN Esports, the team that I said are really comfortable, just like a fish in water on Sanhok. They got themselves 5th position with 4 kills. It's going to be also 2 kills for Victor. No, not the outstanding performance, but still they averaged pretty good on the map, so I'm not too disappointed with OVN. They had their compound that was taken out, and because the error around was so flat, they were of course going to struggle, but still really proud of your boys of OVN. But the red team, they got shut down by Elevate, and it was so fun to see, I'm not going to lie.
Well, again, look, you know, they had the circle for a while. It then shifted away from them. I said they shouldn't have stayed in Paradise Resort. They put themselves into a box, and that box got shifted off down the island to another place, and it just didn't work out for them.
With that said, guys, thanks so much for watching this second game on Sanhok. We'll be going on game number 3, of course. It's going to be on Vikendi. We're going to have some frosty action coming your way. So stick around, get yourself a drink, get yourself some popcorn, nice and comfy. And don't touch that browser, because we all know if you do, myself and Imperium will be going for a break. We'll see you for game number 3 in just a few short minutes. And we are back for our third game of the day. Of course, it's going to be on good old Vikendi. Great first two set of games. One on Erangel that was taken over by REXPECT, and game number 2 taken by Hate Gaming, securing himself their third chicken dinner so far. And we're going to try and get even more insane and just jaw-dropping action coming your way. Imperium, Vikendi, let's freaking go.
Let's freaking go, baby! But before that, some order was restored, or at least a little bit of order was restored, and I'm gonna like I was thinking during the break, I think I probably owe Elevate a bit of an apology, where I kind of automatically presumed they were gonna have a bad game, and I shouldn't have done that. I wasn't as kind of cut down the middle as I should have been, and again they proved me wrong. They got a good result, and with that good result, it's jumped them up to 10th place in the standings.
They were in 18th place before. In one game alone, they got an extra 8 spot and making it finally up there.
Yeah.
And got a total of 91, about to get and breached 100-point marks. I'm really proud of them. It was definitely like the rotation point was a little bit harsh on them, but they made the most out of it. And I got to say, the IGL on like classed and just sent its team where they had to focus down. Like they synergized super well out of like a bad spot, and they got themselves just so many frags. It was like 9 if I'm not mistaken, Imperium. And they just cleared out the entire eastern plate, and I was really happy for.
It also shows the difference when you get to phase 5 and phase 6 and you have a full squad up, and that's where it also made a huge difference for Elevate. Another team that are continuing to make differences is PedjaDBoy.
Yeah,
another super strong result has put them in 16th place, 72 points. Man, AK-47 yesterday, PedjaDBoy today. This is what I love to see. This is part of the reason why I absolutely love PUBG Mobile and PUBG Mobile Esports. It's never over till it's over.
I mean, PedjaDBoys, they started off the day before Erangel in 29th position, Imperium. 20 mother flipping 9th. And now they're just cruising through, not even climbing, they're cruising through this lobby, getting themselves back in 60, making it above the 50% point of this game. And that's way more than enough to be qualified. After, they're still not out of the woods, right? They need to get 2 other good games. It's like, maybe not chicken dinners or anything, but like, they need to hit a consistent average of about 10 to 15 points. If they do that, I think it's pretty safe to assume they're going to the semis.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. The team, and then on the opposite end of the spectrum, the team that I really fear for right now is MVP Gaming. They're in 18th place, 69 points. They're 2 games ahead of the likes of Dope, Throne, We Are Vietnamese, B2B Limitless, Accelerate. And then when you look at the difference, they're only like 24 points ahead of 24th spot. That unless they get it, and all they need is one good game, right? That's all they really need, Max. You look what it did for Elevate. That's all MVP need.
The reason why we're saying it's so dangerous for them, right, is because they're currently in 18th, and you're saying, well, they're above top 24. That's exactly what we need. What are you talking about? This is fine. Well, it's not fine, because after today, they're not playing anymore. It's going to be lobby Group B and Group C that will be playing. So if they stay in a similar kind of position, the other teams, if they do really good, if they pull off a PedjaDBoy and they overtake them, they might just barely get kicked out. So MVP, they have no more room for mistakes. They have only 2 more games in the group stage, and then their fate is going to be sealed until the very last day.
Yeah, and it's a little bit similar for GSMC and Yakuza as well. GSMC currently lying in 21st, the Greek organization. And then Yakuza, Czech Yakuza, who are majority in Czech Republic, would you believe, are in 24th and 45 points. But Yakuza are on the same amount of points as Accelerate, who are in 25th. And Yakuza have played 2 more games than Accelerate. So it's really looking harsh and on the edge of the cliff for those 2 teams.
One team that's really struggling, that's the red team. They are not looking good. They are inconsistent, but consistently bad, unfortunately, in their games. I know that's a little bit harsh, but like the red team, they still can pull off the PedjaDBoy. They have to have 2 good games in a row. 1 good game would not be enough to save them. The chicken dinner and everything, that will not be enough. So right now, 2 good games played. I want to see them be the most serious team I've ever seen, with the most respect and the most discipline ever. If they don't do that, unfortunately, we might have to say bye-bye after this game.
Yeah, and I could see it happening. It's nothing against Red Team, and you know what? I'm trying to be kind of as straight down the line as I see it, without kind of automatically presuming. But like as I said, the direct example is the last game. Red Team, just rotate away. Don't be inside those areas where you're gonna get caught out from teams coming in the opposite direction or teams around you. They had plenty of time to rotate away from Paradise Resort. It was, I believe, phase 2 or phase 3 where it kind of shifted away from Paradise Resort, or at least from the center of Paradise Resort. And look, you know what? Like I said, it's not over till it's over. Let's reserve judgment until we see these next 2 games.
Definitely fingers are crossed for the red team. I don't know. Otherwise, Vikendi, we said it already, like, OVN had a good game on Sanhok. Oh, good game. They had a decent game. They got himself in 5th position with like 4 kills. And they are also a team that is pretty comfortable playing on Vikendi, so I have to see if that can just get them a little more nice and comfy. But we are going to see so many teams like have a hard time with rotations. Rotations can mess you up on Sanhok. They can also mess you up on Vikendi. So Elevate, no, even though they set themselves up in a really good position right now, rotation is going to be even more important, even if I may say so, on Vikendi, because it's such an open area. We saw teams mess it up a little bit, like Team Dope yesterday, on their last Vikendi game. They had a really hard time because they shifted way too late, and I think that's something that Elevate's been doing too recently, and hopefully they'll just be a lot more reactive, because center circle is just so important on this map.
It really is. It already is. Now, the winners of the previous Vikendi games have been Terra Esports and UDR Killer, so both of those teams are playing in tonight's game, so that you could see some surprises coming out from UDR Killers. They haven't looked especially weak. They're currently lying in the overall standings. They're lying in 5th place. Another strong results will tip them up a little bit higher. Terra Esports, they had a bad last game in Erangel, in Sanhok, should I say, going out in last place. That will obviously put them in a position where in tomorrow's games they might get pushed down by other teams around them, but they could do with still another strong result to keep the fear and the pressure against the teams around them.
Just score as many points as you can while you still indeed can. We are slowly going to be loading up into our Vikendi game, ladies and gentlemen, so please do stay tuned. Also, while we're waiting to jump in game, I got to say, please do not hesitate to subscribe to the PUBG Mobile Esports YouTube channel. Also follow the Twitch channel of PUBG Mobile, as we've got so many different regions playing out and so many more sections. This year of PUBG Mobile Esports is going to be just action-packed throughout the entirety. Every single week, every single month, we're going to have some action coming your way. So if you subscribe, you'll be notified when all other events do go live.
And actually, even, I know it's a little bit off topic, but there's even the 2-year anniversary live stream happening later tonight on the PUBG Mobile YouTube channel. I believe it's on this channel, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But, of course, tune in to check that out and help celebrate the 2-year anniversary of PUBG Mobile. I know it's affected in a hugely positive way so many people's lives, the players, the teams, the community. There's always been ups and downs. No community is perfect, but I do know that the game has had a hugely positive impact on many areas around the world.
Really fun. People getting also girlfriends because of PUBG Mobile, you know, making me kind of jealous. Mr. Flip, what the hell? You got to teach me how you do it. But here we go. Together we play. I'm kind of jealous of Mr. Flip, not gonna lie. You got to teach me the way. I didn't know girlfriends. Well, gamers could have girlfriends. That was definitely news to me. Very lonely here, by the way.
Say, but you're digging yourself a hole,
yeah,
mate.
kinda.
You really are. Cough, cough.
Tears running down my face.
It's okay. It's okay. You can just console and soak up those tears with the baguette, Max.
Kieran, wanna go to Starbucks for this week? You and me?
You asking me out on a date?
Maybe. I don't know.
You know what, man? Yeah, of course.
Ooh.
I ship it.
Ah, dude. Hey, when you think about it, right? The time where French culture and Irish culture comes together, you take potatoes and like how we fry things, French fries. There we go.
Oh baby, I'm ready to cook it up, man. I'm ready to cook up some love. Happy days.
Happy days. But finally, we're going to be going away from this ship, which is definitely happening, by the way. And we're going to be going on our Vikendi game of the day. And it's going to be a pretty nice even cut with the plane path. They're going to be having a lot of zones open up. And it's a 6x6, so you can get any position under control.
Oh, man, I was hoping you would transition. We're going to go from a ship to a plane, but... Oh, well, you missed that opportunity. It's going to be pretty central. No, you have to remember for next time, okay?
Okay, Dad.
So, yeah, plane trajectory, pretty central. Going to allow a lot of teams to get pretty much where they want to go within reason. And, yeah, okay, you know, Vikendi, there's a lot of compounds, but there's also an easy way to access the first drop locations that you want to go, or even the first couple of phases, because the terrain is pretty easy. It's pretty smooth, so you can go off-road. You don't have to stick to the main roads.
REXPECT actually changing their main position. Normally they like to go towards port, and here they went on the eastern side. A lot of teams were located here down south, or also on the western side. We'll have to see how that can go. A-Gaming not going to go too central, but I'll wait to see what phase on will be taken as.
Wow, I'll tell you what. Oh,
what? Is that even possible?
What?
How much water is that? Is it like 60% water?
That's a good 60 to 65% water. That is absolutely flipping crazy. Man.
Oh my god, okay. The red team, a team that have to have a good performance. They're going to be kicking it off in style, with UDR Killers putting one member down instantly, but they're still fighting back pretty good. Ulysses going to get the knock on. Pretty split, but the 2-2 split will allow the reses to come on through.
And all Ulysses needs to do is just wait for his teammate, wait for the cavalry to arrive, and that should prove to be an effective team fight in the favor of UDR Killers. They have them a little bit pinched because you look at Ulysses flanking around from the side. Mark on the other side. This could work out pretty well. That's going to be one knockdown. Going for the second knockdown. Doesn't connect.
You like this position big time. Trying to get the nice position. They're just surrounding them. They want this sandwich and they want it right now. Club sandwich, baby. Give it to me. Mark coming in hot with that nice headshot instantly with the UMP, and here it is. That's going to be the red team. We said it, right? They needed to have a good performance. Well, that's the complete opposite. See you later, alligator.
In a wild crocodile. Nice stuff by UDR Killers. Getting that squad wide. It was really well executed. That first knock, they didn't engage super aggressively, right? It was a little bit similar to previous game, I forget now, but they just engaged on it in the right way, flanked around, took out red team. They couldn't heal themselves up in time. They were too out in the open, and yeah, really effective stuff.
That quite a lot. Good job from UDR Killers. Team push. Have their compound of their own, pretty split, but there's no teams around, so hopefully they can just spread their wings, get all the loot that they want, because that circle shift is going to need a lot of good kind of weaponry to push it in.
It's the kind of circle where, look, it's crazy, but it's not unmanageable for a lot of these teams. The biggest thing is that it takes away the land mass, of course. So it is going to put teams closer together, but because of the plane trajectory, there's still a lot of space for the teams to shift into the circle. They don't have to go directly in one direction. They can shift their way up and go in from an opposite area. They can flank from loads of sides and find a space. It just, if they don't do it earlier, Max, then there's a higher chance they're going to get caught out compared to other games.
Definitely, but also boats could be maybe a valuable option for some of these squads to play coastal line. We had AK-47, we had OVN, REXPECT that did also go for the eastern side of the circle, so maybe boats could be valuable, hoping that not too many teams set up camp on the coastal line, of course.
That's actually a really good point, because remember Team Queso? They would always take a boat in
and Team Secret, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a really good point. I don't think it'll happen, because it hasn't really been done. I've never seen it be done in scrims, and at least for the EU region, but it's still a good point.
Thank you. Oh my god, I got acknowledged by the man. I got acknowledged by Sensei. Jesus, I don't know what to say. I'm baffled.
Say you're welcome, and
I'm a weeb. I'm gonna say arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much.
Wax on, wax off.
What?
Say it.
Wax
You've
off?
never seen Karate Kid?
Is that Pokemon? I don't know that.
You've never seen Karate Kid?
No. I never
Oh
seen
my god, guys, come on. He's never seen, Maxman has never seen Karate Kid. I'm actually ashamed of it, to be honest. But anyway. Okay.
I did watch Back to the Future a few days ago, though. I never watched it before.
For the first time?
Yes. It's so
God,
good.
you're such a zoomer.
I know, right? And you're a boomer. Hey, the best of both worlds. There we go. Let's go over to Clark. Oh, that actually very split. Where the hell is the rest of his team? Very far away. More focused on the western side.
It's not bad for them to have a scout, but it's a little bit similar to Sanhok, right? Because of that landmass being shrunk heavily, it would be way more important for them to join up as a full squad. Otherwise, they could get caught up by teams rotating in.
I just hope they'll be able to get back together when the need, because the circle is so small, right? Well, the landmass in the circle is pretty small. The potential of teams engaging on them is pretty big. But hey, Gaming going straight for the bridge and hoping G-Space doesn't get too involved.
Nice by Kaylas. Pop shots off. Try and push Hate Gaming away. Really good stuff. Make them feel like there's more players in that little compound. Good stuff by Kaylas.
G-Space moving out, moving forward towards Navi of Hate Gaming, but don't quite have the information to lock it down. But Jaja and Namad right behind are going to try and join on the same side of the area. But Navi's going to be sprayed on through. Johnny will have to reload, but at least he's got a building. But they got to be careful because I think that Hate Gaming are setting something up.
They're setting something up, but not because it's the ideal play to set up. It's because they kind of have to. I would still recommend I think they're setting it up to try and get Navi away rather than engage.
Happening, Navi just able to up from his wounds. I want to see the circle.
Fuel can, by the way?
I did not see if he got one there. Not. Essentially, as REXPECT playing very on the verge. They didn't go for the boat rotation, but they still play an edge, and I think that's like a safe spot, seeing how the circle is involved, and you've got so much coastal line, so it's definitely going to be worth it for them.
Like I said, I think we're still going to see a nice spread of teams around this map because there's so many compounds in Vikendi. It's a crazy phase 1 circle, but it's not unmanageable. I mentioned it already. And yeah, let's see how it does go on. We do see one member of Terror, though, knocked down by a member of Hate.
Hopefully it won't go too bad for them. They got eliminated just so swiftly on their Sanhok performance, so hopefully they can have a little bit of a better one. But this is going a lot more passive than I thought. Seeing this phase 1 circle, but Elevate and G-Space getting dangerously close to each other, Imperium. And now it's going to be straight up the spray from aim coming out, but they're not getting any damage to connect on Elevate. But now they are split up by G-Space. Positioning is going to be a 2-2 split, and they're going to have to go straight down to the Wardle side. And Elevate might get himself a little bit of a pickle.
They're definitely in a pickle, but they are in a position where they could actually get a pinch rather than a pickle. Zuko inside the water, Pocus down south, Psycho and Twist looking for him now, going to look to flank around. Man, that rotation from Elevate, I don't get it.
I mean, it was going to be very risky from the start. They were hoping, I think the team was not located there, but you should never, assume there's no team in a compound. If you do that, that's the main reason why teams die, is because they assume things. MVP in the open, compound really nearby. REXPECT and PedjaDBoy have an angle on them. Got to be careful as they go downhill.
REXPECT just waiting out, holding out. Good stuff from MVP. They need to take out the likes of PedjaDBoy, not only for their own benefit, but obviously because PedjaDBoy are far away. It's going to be the end of Zuko.
When you're knocked away in the water, that's an instant kill, but if it shifts again in the same global direction, I swear to God, I don't know what I'm going to say. But now if your team's rotating late, you are killers.
Down south. Phase 2 did shift down south.
I mean again, yeah.
Like, it's still 70% water. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely the hardest circle we've seen on, not even just on Vikendi, but I think on like any game, like in terms of like water being involved. So definitely trying to have the better position early on. It could be very good, but Class still on the lower side, going to get slowly engaged. Are they going to go for the drop engage? Class is still trying to buy as much time as possible, but I think he's just buying a little bit of or extra time, but I don't think he's going to survive it. He's gone.
That's why I didn't want to say anything, because I was like, yeah, no, that's going to be the truth. That puts Elevate down to, I believe, 2 players left, but they are very heavily split away from each other. Yeah, it's that rotation. It was so bad, so late.
I mean, they paid the price, right? That is what you get. But Ares, oh, if he doesn't die, I'll be genuinely surprised. Crashes straight into this little well. I don't even know if that is a well. I have no idea what it is. But Caster, how is not fight back? Ares, come on, fight back, mate. There you go, finally.
Caster had to reload.
Oh, I was surprised Ares did not like take that so early on. He just gave him so much room. But there he goes, gets the first aid kit. But now if they want to get the res on Caster, they got to push on forward. This might be his opportunity to do something. But he is alone. And he went out as a scout. So, of course, he's going to have to remain alone.
Is that the last player from
so.
PedjaDBoy?
I'm pretty sure they're not. I think I saw some other members around. Oh, he is.
No.
Ooh, wait, who's the other team that's in light green then? I think I like mixed them up a little bit. But yeah, Ares is the last one. Luckily enough, did not die.
Is it Skillet that you're thinking of?
I think it might be like it's another green team, and I know Goskilla are green a lot of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, hey, look, Ares got away. Is benefiting from the fact that Caster couldn't get the kill in one clip, had to reload, got knocked down because of it.
Nice high ground compound. They're going to try and just mainly scout out information, really waiting. But phase 2 is closing up Imperium. If you still have like 70% water, I'm gonna flip my stuff.
Are you gonna flip your ding dong or something like that, or are you gonna?
We'll see at Starbucks, right? Okay. We got ingoing lore between me and Imperium, guys. Follow the lore on our website, Imperium X Maxman.
Oh my god, I really want to create that website now. But anyway, G Space got a good few kills onto the members of Elevate. Now they're going to look to rotate away, maybe. And look, I would recommend this. You don't want to be in Hot Springs at this point. I always say it. Hot Springs, not an area you want to hold on to past phase 2, phase 3, depending on where it will show up and shift.
I believe it's good early game just to get like loot and just playing it passive. But like in terms of like defending it and everything, it's pretty harsh because there are a lot of buildings and compounds are pretty close to each other. So like big groupment. Hopefully teams will not hold on to it for too long. VDR Killers, their team shifted very late, but they made it through, so that's what counts.
Fortunately, Sandro did go down early on, so they're left with 3 players.
Oh, no.
And now we're going to see this phase 3.
50.
Okay. It's
55.
Still a lot of the land area. What is really interesting is see that little huge mountainside to the west of Cement Factory. That's still in play. It would be risky, it would be bold, but a team could hold on to that spot.
If you hold it there, that means that the entire circle, when it's not with a compound, is actually unplayable because they can just scout you out and shut you down with DMRs and snipers. So the team that might go for that position would definitely be a pretty big contender for this chicken dinner. Vivian going to funny move out, but straight into potential open hands of in push.
Well, the position would be dictated based on the circle staying there. So, you know, if not just there for like 1 or 2 circles, I mean for pretty much all the circles, because when it gets to phase 4 or 5 and it shifts down away from that hill, you have to go downhill. That's going to be really tough to deal with.
Hey Gaming, they definitely want to try and play with a high ground position. They're not too sure if they want to hold on to it too soon and too long because a few teams are indeed surrounding them. Yeah, they're going to go for a compound instead, which I think is better. Right on top of team number 5. That's going to be Top Killers. Can they defend it? Oh, definitely off to a good start. Navi's going to be biting the dust. MZ is going to be the one right behind, but the 2-2 split of Hate Gaming, they've still got a few members across the road. This is not how you breach, unfortunately. You want to breach as a 4-man squad, not with the 2-2 split.
Unless you do a bit of scouting, it just wasn't worthwhile. He's staying himself alive for now, but MZ, the little French nugget that he is, can't really go any closer to his teammate, and the other 2 members of Hate Gaming have been spotted by Top Killers.
Also, during the break before after last game, we talked about the fact that if he got 2 more chicken dinners, I was going to get Hate Gaming tattoo. And no, that's not the kind. Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting it to happen. It's pretty low chances, but I'm kind of scared. So I'm like, please also die. But at the same time, I love them. So I'm like, please don't. I'm like 50-50 because I don't want to get a tattoo right now. But I said it, so I'll hold my word.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. I don't know how to react to that, other than talk about the fact that Terra and Yakuza are going up against each other. Spectre knocked down. JW and Ryan trying to put pressure onto the members of Terra.
Yakuza, can they finally have a good engage today on a compound? We'll have to wait and see. Terra, Broccoli going to be a little bit split away from his squad. Beer going to be rushing out, but way too aggressive at my taste. And he's going to be taken out almost instantaneously. I'm pretty sure there's only down to Broccoli. Ferry's going to be the last member standing. We saw Broccoli pull off so many clutch plays. Can he make this one work out? The molly's pretty damn good, but unfortunately, Ryan will be moving forward. Bimby will indeed get the last one onto Broccoli, and that's going to be Terra out of commission really quickly, just like last game.
Yes, second game in a row, but G-Space biding their time. They're waiting. Seeing the shots being fired, now they can focus on Yakuza, but are they giving Yakuza too much time to heal up?
I think that might be happening right now, but Northern shift a lot less water. And OVN, I said it, they freaking love rotating early on, find a better compound. So OVN definitely set up for success, but Yakuza been very slow on that shift, and they're going to get through so many teams.
And on a side note, Warlords were the team that went up to the high ground. It shifted away. They're going to have to react now before it goes anywhere near the blue zone closing in, because there's a lot of teams down on the south direction on the edge of the circle.
Oh, that's going to be casted with Uzi. Definitely loves that weapon. It's been working out absolute wonders. But look at that. Wasan and Jervy just going to try and flank on the high ground, trying to get a nice little pinch on AK-47. How well can they defend against it? The shot's coming out, but it's not quite able to connect. Wasan put extremely low, but AK-47 going for the 2-2 split of their own to defend against the aggressive push of REXPECT. This is absolute spawn. I really like what AK-47 are doing to respond here.
Yeah, but Viper got knocked down. The revive went up on the caster. He was able to heal up, and Molly goes down. And now it's 1-on-1 between Borean and Jervy.
Molly will be a little bit far. Unfortunately, will not help out too much. Nice spray. Puts Jervy a little bit low once again, but he knows he's reloading. Wasan's going to go for his engage of his own, but he has enough time to reload, and that's going to be going over to Burian, getting Wasan down on his knees. Jervy's going to be in the lower, just a little bit of a nick and cranny, and he's going to be dying out too. Burian survives with almost no HP. And AK-47 pulling off an absolute top-tier defense and leaving not B2 and Caster alone to defend himself.
Such a tricky spot to in any way engage on. And now you have G-Space coming in with the third partying.
Oh.
Borean, he's gotten 2 knockdowns. Now he's riding high. Can he find? He flanks around.
This is the best position to play with. He gave his position away and right into the face of Psycho. Great response. Burian just one-handedly carrying his back. Must be hard. Like, hurting quite a bit after this one. But still, there's one member of G-Space still remaining over there.
And now Warlords connecting on the Hate. Warlords have the high ground. Hate have the low ground. 2 players knocked down, leaving MZ on his own.
The flush does indeed come out of Dexter. They've got to be careful. Even though it's a one-man army, we know that clutch kills could happen. How will they play this one? Though, look at that. I think that we got... Did we have the full team res back up for REXPECT? No way.
Because of the third partying from G-Space, that turned the attention away from them on the hands of AK-47. Now MZ on the low ground. That's going to be the end. Sensei comes in. Good stuff from Warlords.
That means no tattoo. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't take a second chicken dinner. But still no tattoo.
Oh, did you mean like 2 games in a row?
They had to get like the 2 next chicken dinners.
Okay.
So
wait, as in like 3 chicken dinners total in one day?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, then I get why you made that bet. Because okay, fair enough. Warlords, really happy to see them get a confident win. MVP on the high ground on the southeast edge of the circle.
G-Space still have twists. Hopefully can try and stay alive a little bit longer. But MVP, they are going to go for the car. They're trying to roll out. But there's not many places still call home. Compounds are pretty scarce at this stage.
Oh man, the circle closes out. It actually shifts up to the north. There's still the water in play, Max. It's still occupied by about 30% water, but they do find a space. It is actually going to be held on to, I believe, another team.
And Necron of MVP is going to get areas. PedjaDBoys, unfortunately, will be biting the dust, eliminated in 12. Still, their 2 first games were absolutely insane, so that's exactly what they needed. Elevate still struggling. Their rotation, we talked about it, Ryan Pyramid is a little bit too late, and you have 3, even 4 teams with twists around the corner, just not looking too good. And I don't think that Elevate can go any further here. They're getting pinched.
It's just Pocus up left standing. Unless he performs some magic and goes, Hocus Pocus Alakazam, you're all dead in my hands. As it Rex, I thought that was a nice, good rhyme on a side note.
Rappers, the Eminem just doesn't want to diss, and he's just too scared right now. Imperium is the best rapper of the world. We've got to be careful. It is round number 2 between AK-47 and REXPECT. Burian, despite doing so good in those engages, he's going to be biting the dust, getting eliminated. Dexter going to try and snake his way through that smoke and remain alive. But Wasson, can't you see him? He's right there. Yeah, I was like, why are they not going for it? But there you go. They get the kill. AK-47 out in 11th position.
That's what you get when you don't focus on one fight at a time. There's no way they... Okay, nothing against AK-47, but you could have pushed on to REXPECT after those 2 knocks, but instead you turned your attention, you got distracted, you paid the price.
REXPECT got to say a big fat thank you over to G-Space. That's not how he say thank you, by eliminating the team, but I mean, it works out. Twist is going to get eliminated. G-Space in 10th position. OVN Esports now going to try and get a nice high ground position once again under control. They got Albie, just giving information over to the remaining time of his squad.
Yeah.
Going to be pretty valuable.
I don't think they intentionally went for that split kind of play between the members of Ghost Skilla, but it should potentially work out as the teams around them take each other out.
REXPECT, they're just so good. I'm still surprised they were able to get the 2 members res back up, but they got Team Warlords, potentially can try and flush out a few kills. Caster will indeed confirm the frag on Backfire. I'd love to see how many kills they got so far. But UDR Killers and Team Push, they're going to get in a fight. And Team Push, they've been breaching pretty good compounds today.
Team Push, they need a good result. REXPECT, they've looked good. They're on 5 kills so far. Make that 6, as Jervy did get knocked down.
Yeah, definitely looking to be top dog of today's games. They got to go maybe downhill on phase 6. I'm not really too enjoying it, but Pocus is coming out from the back. And that's a 1 extra point for them. But Pocus, can they shut him down? REXPECT definitely got the info. Nade will be coming out. Will it roll down? Not quite.
Close, but no cigar. He has to use the first aid kit. It is phase
5, yes,
5 tick damage. He just about manages to heal up, but he has to prone down and go closer, but from behind, Militia from MVP gives Pocus a breath of fresh air.
Oh my god, Pocus, so you better buy them a pint after this. MVP going to be saving the day of Elevate for a little while longer, but they might also try and claim his life in the time being. Team Push still playing this on passive, not over-aggressive, really being respectful and having a lot of discipline in this one.
I'd like to propose you change a pint to a carton of orange juice.
Oh, okay.
You know, just because we don't know
more
exactly
healthy.
Right. Just so, yeah, and it's more healthy, you know? But anyway, sorry. MVP looking and climbing on the edge of the circle on the west as Team Push trying to fight up against UDR.
Ooh, Bobby not able to connect anything with that spray on the Uzi. Here it is. Mark is going to go for the engage, but he misses everything. What is that, Mark? Was the M4? You got to reload, go for the re-engage. Can he get it? He doesn't get anything done right now, but here it is. Vama69 will get Mark down. The flush will be coming out pretty shortly right after, and UDR Killers will get indeed eliminated in 8th position. I don't know how Team Push won it, but they won it. I mean, yeah.
It was definitely those flush shots coming out from UDR Killers on top of that roof that got the end of them, unfortunately. Push jumped down. It just wasn't enough. MVP, they're not in the circle, but they are so close yet so far as top killers. You have Pocus, REXPECT right close by. This is going to be tough for top killers.
Now the top killers actually take the position a little bit of REXPECT. Actually, that is allowing Pocus of Elevate to potentially snake his way through because he doesn't know, they don't know where he's currently located. Here it is, a more spray coming out. Militia doing so much work for his squad.
Honestly, MVP, they looked really strong. I said they needed to pull out a banger, and that's exactly what they're doing as Caster gets knocked down.
Fights are still ongoing. REXPECT down to, I believe, their last member. Caster was knocked away. Hopefully the res will be coming out. But MVP, they've got to aim for it. Bobby's just a snake in the grass. And he's going to be exploding that car. Bobby gets it on Militia. There you go, my boy. But Larwan and Danny going to have to try and make it downhill eventually because the circle is definitely not going in their favor.
And the only team that are inside circle right now,
OVN.
Actually, no, OVN are just on the north side on their own. Top killers, Hocus Pocus on his own, along with REXPECT down south.
OVN, this is why I said they're one of the top teams on this Vikendi game. They got the best position to play with, leaving all the other teams fight it out. And then when it's all over, just join on in, just steal all the kills and take all the glory for themselves.
Oh, and Nini gets in. Actually, it was actually Pocus that knocked down Danny. He has E-Core right by his side. He's just nearly in the blue zone. He goes closer. He has to play it super safe, and he's just about in it.
The top killers, they don't have too much information on who's located there. Gets the shot, he's going to die potentially to the blue, and he will indeed deny the kill away. I think he knew he was backed against the corner. The circle shift of phase 6 actually going over to MVP. OVN, really interested to see how they work with that.
Well, it's kind of down low on the coast, so they can kind of shift their way up. It could go in favor, but they've got to get rid of top killers and REXPECT on the opposite side of the circle before they can climb their way through. But we can't deny there is still that golden member of Ghost Skillet still up in this game.
But the just winning factor for AVN, even though they don't have the circle, they're the only team with 4 members, right? The only team that only still has like 3 is going to be, of course, team number 5 top killer. So that could, in its own, play a really big part in this game. MVP trying to gatekeep it. Nice car explosion from Victor, giving him a little extra coverage.
Plus, he has that big bush by the side.
Big bush.
And you can become one with the bush. We saw it yesterday.
But here it is. The fight is going to be an even trade-off between OVN and REXPECT. Going to get shut down. Not B2 is going to be alone as Castle got flushed out. But oh my god, OVN Esports in a snap of a finger. 3 of their members are down. Going to be leaving, unfortunately, 1 alone. And that will be indeed Frost.
Yeah, I respect the fact that they kind of, they went for that rotation, but I feel like they could have waited out a little bit longer considering they were a full squad, but they did what they had to do. They made the play. It hasn't quite worked out for now. It still can. All the while, the blue zone's closing in. Albie goes down. Ghost Skiller out. We're down to the top 4 teams.
Still, because all his member dies out pretty quickly, he makes the most out of it. That'll be an instant flush, will not be 2. Securing an extra kill. That's going to be 8 kills, Imperium, for the squad of REXPECT. So pretty good. Frost, unfortunately, not going to be able to get over to Novaz and Victor, so those will be normally 2 casualties, I'm pretty sure. Top killers and MVP definitely not giving this position away.
Man, top killers coming out at the drop of a hat in the final 3 teams as Frost just trying to heal himself up. Zart getting closer to the edge of the circle, but also getting closer to MVP. What I find interesting is that MVP aren't really spread out there in one area, and I worry that might go against them.
I really hope they'll be able to hold on tightly to it. But there you go, unfortunately, OVN, they're going to be losing members there, bleeding out. They'll be confirmed by the blue. By bleeding out, but there you go. That's going to be OVN Esports in 3rd position. Down out to top 2 teams. MVP Gaming versus Top Killers. It will be a 2v3.
This is going in the favor of Militia and MVP. The reason why is because if you look, they've got a little bit of a dip down the hill. Top killers have to peek their head first because the circle has gone in the favor of MVP. Now, the good thing is that there is plenty of space for top killers to rotate to the edge because it's just a 2-man MVP team that haven't moved away. Unless they see them crawling, they're not going to have any idea where top killers are. So this could go either way, Max.
And also, if top killers are better at math than I am, they know this is a 3v2. So if they spread out, they can just completely overwhelm MVP Gaming with just sheer amounts of power, which I like what Zart is doing. Zart is like the flanker of his team, and he just does so well in that specific sense. Now, it's closing up. Phase number 8, Imperium. The fight might be breaking out in just a matter of seconds.
But here's the thing, Nini is actually looking in the opposite direction of the members of MVP. Unless he knows they're there and he's just trying to give some kind of communication, say, hey, look, it's safe. But either way, nobody from top killers, I believe, is looking at MVP.
Of course, Leo1 took his backpack away. Most members probably already done it at this stage to try and take away some height of your 3D model. Phase 8 is just about to be closed up. Imperium and a fight is still not ongoing. This is just Battle of Snakes. This is a very good moment for some good old quality ASMR.
Yeah, as we do see, top killer is a 3-man team crawling their way through. MVP right in front of Zart. Don't think he's been spotted in amongst the roses.
Oh, here it is. The first one comes on through. It's going to be turned into a 3v1 top killers. They've got to turn it down on Militia. 1 pixel out of place, and Militia will be a goner. And here it is. This is such a good play. They are so spread. They scout him out, and Militia will be biting the dust. They still get 2nd position. But at the end of the day, top killers will be your winners for this Vikendi game. And look at those kills too, man. The consistency of that game was perfect. And yeah, just good job from them.
Yeah, really good job too for 5, 6, 7, 8 kills for them in first place. MVP though, a performance they needed. They were lying down in 18th spot. What a boost. 12 kills for them in 2nd place. And then OVN in third, getting 5 kills. Honestly, like, really good stuff from the top 3 teams. OVN rotating so nicely across this whole game.
Yeah, they're the team that rotated the best in this game. As I said, they are extremely comfortable on this. Even though they have hard circle shifts, they were able to make the most out of it. This is a thing that shows up the skill and just a really good IGL of a team, is if they're able to respond accordingly to a really bad circle, which this one was like 60 to 70% water. And they're just like, oh, that's fine. It's just like a normal game for them on Vikendi because they're just so used to it. And yeah, I'm really happy with them, even though it's third position. The like phase 6/7 was really hard against them. But I gotta say, big round of applause. One of the best teams in this game, for sure.
Plus, you know what's really kind of interesting is that the top 2 teams were fighting against each other earlier on. MVP managed to disengage and they got into a much safer spot. So I think it's really kind of, you know, cool that they were fighting earlier on. They disengaged. MVP did a great play of disengaging. They managed to get away as a full squad, and then they came down to those 2 teams in the final moment. So I really like that. And that's why I always say, if you're not going to close out an engagement, disengage. It will pay off for you in the late game.
Talking about like good stuff that worked out pretty good, I'm going to talk about one thing that did not work out at all. And that is going to be, of course, the red team. Out in last position with just 1 kill up their sleeve. They get 2 points on this game. I'm pretty sure that this game that just happened for them is going to be the key factor to them getting eliminated out of the semi-finals. Like, they just didn't show up today, and that really shows up in their overall standing. So, yeah, might be the end. Hopefully, he can pull off a 30-40 point game and do like an AK-47, but we all know that's going to be insanely hard to pull off.
Yeah, most likely it's a final nail in the coffin for a red team. Even if they do get an AK-47, well, okay, if it's a 40-point game, maybe, but anything other than that, there's a really high chance it will go, you know, heavily against them. A team that did also exceptionally well was REXPECT.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had a helping hand from G-Space earlier on in the team fight against AK-47. But at the end of the day, they held on. They got, you know, 9 kills and really great teamwork overall from this team.
Really good job from REXPECT, as we are now going for a very, very short break before we go on our 4th game. We got the schedule, the standings updated, so we'll be taking a quick peek on those after the break. So do stick around if you want to see which teams are currently in top tier positions or which teams might be struggling. We'll be back in a few minutes for some more Erangel gameplay. And we are back. Thanks so much for waiting. I hope you guys are all comfortable because the game that was just coming out, the three first games are absolutely jaw-dropping, but game number 4 is sure to not disappoint us. And myself and Imperium are, as always, going to take you through the action. Imperium, man, that last game, insane coming out from Top Kidders.
Insane circles, insane plays from a couple of teams, and I really enjoyed that. Like, I'm normally a fan of more central circles that are kind of safer for most of the teams, but I think Vikendi gets away with super hard circles a little bit easier because it's so compound heavy. And it was just a really nice game from a lot of these teams and it has helped them in the standings overall. The one team I want to point out definitely the most is MVP, jumping up to 14th place into the top 16. They can breathe a sigh of relief for now.
For now, indeed, they make it a little bit higher. Let's hope that might be enough for them to make it also through the semi-finals if they do end up getting qualified, which I think at this stage was an extra game to go. It is pretty safe to assume that that might be the case. Muscular getting caught up by a few teams, but AK-47, you know what? They are as high as I thought they would be, potentially after 3 games. I thought they might be holding a better overall position, but they lost a little bit, but they're still looking pretty safe in the overall standings.
They are. Like, they're on 93 points. The real deal behind them. Okay, they've played 3 more games in the real deal, but they are like a good 14 points ahead. The teams that I worry about the most is definitely GSMC, Team Push, and Yakuza. Like, they've only got one more game, Max. They've got one more game to get as many points as the teams might get in 4 games tomorrow. If that makes sense, as in they've really got to like pull their heads out of their asses for this last game. Go full send, go hard, go home. Their backs are against the wall.
Yeah, it's just a few teams still have an opportunity to make it through. It's just when I look at like the red team, they started off the day 30th position. Now they are in 29th, 3 games to win, 1 position on teams that aren't even playing today. I'm like, like, yeah, the red team, pretty sure we're not going to see them making it through today unless they get like a huge kill bomb today on and a chicken dinner, which seems pretty sure that's not going to be happening. But I hope that they'll be able to take these games, this tournament, and these VODs as a way to reflect and come in potentially on the full split of the year.
Yeah,
because they have some potential. They showed it, but they just need to work on the synergy and their way of rotating because that's been really messing them up pretty heavily.
Exactly, and then on the side of GSMC, like in the last game in Vikendi, they were getting the better of REXPECT, let's be honest. You know, and they got the better of Elevate, although that was Elevate's own fault, but anyway. So, like GSMC, honestly, I see so much potential. I'm a little bit surprised they're that low down, to be perfectly honest. But it is what it is for now. It's in the palm of their hands to get this last game, grab it, run with it, and hopefully score an AK-47-like result.
Because what you got to also understand is teams that struggle on this kind of level in the group stage, got to understand that during semi-finals, during also the regional finals, you're going to have less and less teams, and you're going to have only the top teams in all of Europe, the tier 1 teams that we're looking to see play, and things are going to get harder and harder. So you're not only trying to make it through the group stage, right? You're trying to make it through in a good position where you feel confident in your playstyle, where you can actually fight versus the best teams in Europe on an even footing. Which I think that some teams are definitely going to struggle doing in semi-finals, but that's why you got to work on it now, even if you're not yet in semi-finals. Exactly.
It's kind of preparing for that 2 steps ahead rather than just that next step, and that's a really good point. That's why I suppose that's part of the reason why I might have been a little bit more critical on Elevate up until they got that strong result, because I know that they want to be, and they know that they know. Sorry, I know that they know they can fight amongst the best, and they haven't been there. They still aren't there, to be perfectly honest. Like, and to throw a little bit of criticism their way, let's be honest, the only reason they got a good result last game was because of Pocus.
Yeah, your boy Pocus.
You know, that, like, let's not mask the fact that they did not have a good game in Vikendi.
Yeah, they had a hard time, like, shifting way too late. They had, like, what, 3 to 4 teams, like, gatekeeping the area. But we know that they know that we know that they also know that they messed up. So there you go.
I like that, by the way. Yeah, that was, yeah. Nice one. Good on. Let's see what you did there.
Oh, we'll see. But here you go.
But Max,
yeah.
I want to know, do the viewers know that we know, that they know that we know, that the viewers also know that we know that they know?
Error 404, Maxman has stopped working. He has put out commission. Please call the Maxman reparator. Thank you. I'm broken, I said it. Got a cast on your own, man. Solo casting.
It's fine. I'll do it. No, I need you, man.
Oh man, the law is still ongoing. Now is the when we're mad at each other, we're having a little bit of a lovers fight.
Lovers tiff.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, lovers tiff.
Okay.
It's cool. It always end up with Actually, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah, no. I know exactly where that was going.
Okay, let's keep
plane. Let's focus on gameplay.
Where is it gonna be
Severny.
going? It's going Severny. No, it's going from central, north to south, pretty split in the middle. OVM will be able to get Severny. We're gonna see
REXPECT on Zaki.
REXPECT on Zaki. We're gonna see Hate Gaming go to military base. Terror will go to George Paul. Pretty overall standard stuff in this game.
Yeah. Elevate, they did change their dropping location last time. They went actually towards an area, not really in Gakka, but in the surrounding area of Gakka, at least on the western section of the map. So we'll have to see if they're going to continuously go for that.
No, Elevate last Erangel went North George with AK-47.
I mean, they were on the western side. They were like around Gakka. I wasn't sure exactly where, but they were in like that area at least. Like not very precise, but they were around there.
Yeah.
Are they going to go back over to Milton?
Yeah, because it's closer to their drop spot, so it should be okay for them. MVP will look to head towards Ferry Pier. And Warlords are going to Yaznai. What is interesting is that Ghost Skilla, who normally land in Yaznai, are not going there.
They are taking their shot and taking it an opportunity to. They're hoping to go for Eastern Circle. I'm hoping to see one finally, and it's going to be Central. Finally.
Yes, it's Central. It's clean. It's crisp. It's clear. It's a phase 1 circle in the center of the map. I like it. It means that most of the teams that have dropped are already inside the circle. Loot up, rotate a little bit, maybe send a scout a little bit further down the road, so to speak, or go for a 2-2 split. That would also be a very viable option for now in phase 1.
This is like the kind of best circle to end up the group stage for Group A and Group D. I gotta say, this is like a gift from heaven. Yeah. And I think most teams will be pretty happy with it, hoping that Hate Gaming rotate pretty fast away from military base.
Let's not forget, there are still a few teams clashing up against each other. You have Top Killers and you have Terror, who are kind of down in the South George direction. You do have Pedja, I think it's PedjaDBoy and Elevate are kind of close by, but Elevate normally like to go more towards Milta Power than actual Milta.
Yeah, I mean, normally they spread a lot between like Milta Power itself, but it seemed like they all committed pretty heavily for the main area of Milta. So I would be interested to see how that goes, because PedjaDBoys, if they can take down Elevate, that'll be a big ego boost.
Yeah, it would be, of course. You know, at the moment, they're lying pretty good in the overall standings, being in 17th. It's not clear. It's not a guaranteed spot. It's definitely on the edge of the danger zone, depending on how the teams do tomorrow. So kind of making a statement by taking out a team like Elevate kind of goes in line with the whole go hard or go home aspect I see things at.
Error, always no. Oh, not too much of an issue. This time not contested. Not going to be any teams. Not sure if Hospital has been taken over or not. I don't think that Stage and AK-47, they play really passive now, being very respectful.
Yeah.
We talked about that already. And I think it's the better way to go, as it worked out for them. They got chicken dinner on Erangel already.
The one thing I'm not a huge fan of with North George, though, to be perfectly honest, is that it's so big, it can take ages to loot up, and you can actually lose a sense of time being there. So I hope that doesn't go against AK-47 in this game. But we'll see how it goes.
After you're on competitive settings, in the sense of like your loot's a little bit better. So you don't. I think it doesn't take longer to loot, but I think you loot fast in the sense you got the loot that you want a lot quicker because you got such a big area and can just spread out. No teams rotate there.
Okay.
I mean, get what you want really quickly, I think, at least.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. You could be true. Honestly, I know we're not panned over into Terra, but just a huge shout out. I was talking to and playing a few games with my friends Dan and Zix, earlier on today, and the second they saw Broccoli in game, they were like, "This is our team." We're just because of Broccoli, because they just think that Broccoli is like the best IGN name, and honestly, I would like tend to agree. It's an absolutely fantastic name for a player, Broccoli.
5 fruit and veggies per day, and he's definitely going to teach that lesson. And Broccoli, you remember like the main reason why they got like more points in second position compared to the team first position? That was like Team Legend they beat, and Broccoli was the main reason for that. Like definitely one of like the best players in Europe, to my opinion.
Say your prayers and eat your vitamins, brother. As Hate Gaming are down in the military base, but they're now rotating away. They do not have a team near them, so they will be able to rotate effectively as MVP, making for a quick, swift rotation. Man, I feel like MVP, I know this might sound stupid because we're only 5 minutes in, Max, but I feel like they've got their mojo back.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like, just this small little, like, it's the small things that make a PUBG Mobile team good. Is like hiding your car. It's things that you don't always think about, but it's like,
yeah,
think about it. This is actually pretty smart. Like, you see more and more teams do it, but this is like the sign of a good team.
And they're right in the center of the circle. Picked a nice location and a nice spot as a UDR killers. Slightly disappointing game last game, but they still hold an overall positive position in the standings, lying in 5th place.
Though Sandro going to go out. He was the member that died out first. This is the red team on Vikendi, so hopefully he won't get too split. They're very spread. So they're not really prepared to a team like engaging in Sanhok, even though chance of that happening or pretty they're very cautious about that.
So go Skiller gone to the Povka. It's a nice entryway into the circle. Like I said, it's central, so it's nothing really crazy. I would worry actually about REXPECT, to be perfectly honest. I know there's plenty of space, but I don't know. There's something about that I fear could go against them. It's like my spidey senses are tingling.
I was about to say that. God damn, you took it. I was gonna say also your Irish sense are tingling, but I don't know.
I'd say probably my whiskey senses are tingling.
Yeah, it's like if you got like a pint of beer around, it's like there's some drink somewhere.
No, it's my leprechaun senses are tingling.
What does it tingle to?
Pot of gold. See?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I thought if we were like more like a glass of Guinness or something, but you know that a pot of gold is pretty good too.
Fun fact: I'm not a huge fan of Guinness, but anyway.
Are you really Irish? No, you're not. Buy in.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Top killers, ruins. I don't like that, Max. You know, I'm not a fan of being in ruins. Disengaging away from that location can be incredibly hard. I hope I'm proven wrong, but I really don't like it.
It's okay to go for it if you're alone and no other teams like to go there. So that's really depending on your VOD review. If you see that no teams like to go there, then okay, you can call it home. But it's not an area that can have like 2-3 teams because it breaks out really badly most of the time.
Yeah. GSMC on the high ground, on the hills down the south of Pachinki. Holding on to that will be a little bit more difficult depending on how the teams rotate and how the circle does shift. But I like it for GSMC as Bear.
See that instant U-turn, like, oh no, he didn't have time to do it. Got flushed out almost instantaneously, but Terror, they got now 3 other cars. They're just going to disperse themselves. Bravo Alpha going dark and find a few more compounds to control.
Hey, look, I said it can be hard to hold on to, but when somebody rocks up in the US on their own, you fire on all cylinders. Good stuff by GSMC, pushing Terror Esports back.
Yep, pushing it back, not going to give the gun in a way, so that's fine. They got a lot of areas, especially like not fighting potential, but it's mainly just like getting information is going to be great for G-Space, which they do need, like we saw that on their last game especially.
Exactly. I just hope they don't get distracted later on down the line. Now we are getting close to where this phase 2 will shift, Max. I do hope it goes in the easterly direction. Hopefully we'll see it on the feed.
Get on the feed indeed. Please show us production crew. Would like to see, but it closes up, and we've got a minute 30 seconds before it does end up going through. Elevate. They actually stood very early, which I think this is definitely what they need to try and achieve. Have a better shot at their game, so good stuff from them.
Yeah, and where they are located right now is in a really nice position where they don't have to rotate probably for the next phase. Like, look at where they are. They're on the outside of farm. They're close enough to the edge of the circle. It did shift up north. And honestly, this is just a really clean phase 2 circle for all the teams. I worry about Warlords, though, rotating right through the middle along with UDR Killers and Hate.
I think OVN here responded so well because they knew that most teams like to drop on the western side.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're going to wrap around towards Yasnaya and go straight down because that's where the entry points are going to be the most open. So I actually really enjoy OVN's rotation. One of the best teams in terms of rotation, I would even say.
Plus, REXPECT just have gone completely, closer to the circle compared to what I would have expected. So, got to give them props for that.
I did really enjoy that. Goskiller, they shifted pretty late, but no team's already there. PedjaDBoy's around the corner. Not really any kind of gatekeeping should get set up at this stage, I believe, because it's an open area, so that should be Goskiller still being able to make it through, and they got so many cars like that. They're set up for success.
Yeah. I mean, Potato Hill, it's a risk to hold on to.
Savage X, we're going right now. Oh my god, it's too late, and here it is. They sprayed it down, and Savage X will be on his knees. And he's going to get flushed away, normally, by Senzi. There it is, coming out. It will be getting it. Well, I don't know, the red team stole it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they stole it from a distance. Jonya got it.
I literally looked away for a second, and yeah, it was stolen away. That will give information to Warlords that there's a team in apartments.
Hopefully the red team, they'll be able to make up for where they struggle the most. That is defending compounds. They have a really hard time doing so. Now it's turning over to some bolt action, trying to take the fight with Team Warlords. Oh, nice shot connecting for both members. But Butter will have to heal up just a little bit.
Butter5 got a buttery smooth shot with that bolt action. Both players will heal up. And all the while, Wasting, I said it, REXPECT rotated quite swiftly and does get a knockdown onto a member of Terror.
Hey, Potato Hills, you talked about it, right, Imperium? It's a little bit of a risk. It's a double-edged sword.
It is.
So we'll have to see how that could potentially go out with UDR Killers. But Team Warlords, I would say this is not a position I would really stay in. I would move because you're shooting around and so many teams can go for the fight. And there you go. Nice headshot from Golf on the SLR.
Yeah, it is. And if they know they're not winning their team fight, they should disengage now.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the fact that they know that there's a team in school, being Yakuza. They're going to be pinched from both angles. Get the hell out of there. Rotate while you still can because either that or they wait until phase 3 pops up.
Exactly. They'll try and wait. I think just waiting an extra 15-20 seconds would be really good for them. Warlords. At least they got a bunch of cars, so that rotation would be made way easier because they set themselves up for later rotations.
But they could be at a point because the circles have been so central up until this point where they can't move away because all the teams have gotten into a nice, like they've already kind of put their location set in stone. And Warlords could be pinched.
Golf, the headshot machine.
I know, right?
Clapping the cheeks of Warlords.
Look at this, Max. Central circle once again, and it's gone more towards east. Pachinki is out of the circle pretty much. OVN on the north side on their own, along with Ghost Skiller, who did lose a member earlier on, but they are in a nice location now.
And so we might actually have a Potato Hill finish, which I don't have the chance of casting yet. So that will be definitely a new one in my books. Team Push, unfortunately, on the edge. If a team tries to go for the same location, Team Push might get in a pretty risky spot. So getting a safer position is going to be great for them if they can achieve it. Because this, look at Hate Gaming. They could do it if they want.
If I was Elevate, I'd send 2 people in a different location closer to the circle. Because right now, they're not in a dangerous position on the edge of the circle. But if the next phase shifts against them, then it could spell trouble.
PM24, he's connected to headshots himself. And he is going to go pretty passive because the circle is so central, is helping out so many teams. You've got AK-47 just up north. They might have to try and just squeeze their way through. As I'm saying that, AK-47 do find an error towards Roshok. And luckily for them, not occupied, so they're going to call that home for a few minutes.
That's all they can do for now. Max, we're like 40 minutes into the game, and we still got 62 players and 16 teams. I don't think we've seen that yet kind of in the tournament, and it's helped by such central circles, and I really love it.
I mean, it's also the last game of Group A and Group D. So this is, for some of these teams, is the most important game for them. and they just can't afford another loss. If they do, they might just get taken out of the group stage, and their PMCO adventure ends now.
That's a really good point. Oh, yeah, and they're not one of those teams, though. They're looking pretty safe. They, of course, extra points can potentially mean extra prizes down the line, and their confidence will skyrocket if they get another strong result. But definitely less pressure on this team.
OVN, they got a compound. I love compounds that are surrounded by roads because they're so easy to, one, get intel, and two, defend if you get breached. And also it's got a few little walls to work with, so when you're in third-person mode, such a good position to hold on to. But finally, going to be top killers. They're finally shifting. Stuff a nice chicken in the last game on Vikendi. Around there on the west.
Yeah, it's definitely getting a little bit crowded, and we are also getting closer to where Phase 4 will pop off. Top killers in multiple vehicles, MVP around them, going past them. You have Terror that are going through them. Nice sprays.
Spray that control, even though it doesn't connect, I gotta say, Danny, that was one sexy spray. I'm very jealous of your skills, mate. You gotta teach me. But finally, they got a little building to go for. Shouldn't get pressured too heavily. Hopefully, if the circle does shift away from them, they wouldn't have to go too high uphill, because at this stage, there are a few teams already set up there. Ready? Oh my god, it's actually going towards Potato Hill in the area.
See what I said about Elevate rotating too? Now they don't know what teams are there. And okay, they're starting to rotate now, and that response is really high, but you've got to think they've got no information on what teams are inside the circle. And that's really hard. That's why I recommended them in Phase 3 to send 2 ahead in a different location.
Yeah, 2-2 split would have been a lot smarter, but still, the fast reactive is what I'm looking for. REXPECT, is that 4-member car rotation? I hope not. There it is. Not B2 is going to be dropped into his doom. The 3-man car rotation, okay. But they are going to have to make it through. There's a lot of teams around them as Mamilo PedjaDBoy is going to do some work on top killer. Zar is instantaneously going to be taken out.
Yeah, you should definitely not expect to rotate cleanly at this stage of the game as we get into the 70-minute mark. Phase 4 is already closing up, and we're expecting Yakuza.
Yeah, JW gonna be. Oh my god, how he missing so many shots! Oh my god, Jervy switching out, and we'll get the knockdown at the very end. But that was definitely not what I was expecting. Jervy put extremely low, but we'll be able to barely survive the encounter. Ryan gonna have to force on through. Yakuza, can they get their first good compound breach of the day? They're gonna confirm all the kills, and REXPECT unfortunately down to, I believe, 1 member.
They are down to 1 member, not B2, knocked down, and now the apartments are starting to heat up outside school. It's not September yet, but school is, and the apartments are definitely getting pretty busy.
And it's getting really busy indeed. Terra Esports, Team Red. All of these squads, they're safe now, but when they have to shift away from it, it's such a flat area around her apartment, and it's all uphill that might be losing a lot of teams. But AK-47 going to be breaching on Goskilla, trying to take it for themselves. Goskilla, they lost 1 member earlier. The nades are flying, but not quite able to connect on any members yet.
And yeah, here's the thing, like, OVN, they don't need to worry about too much because they are still inside the circle across the road.
They get Viper.
As it goes, Skilla does knock down Viper.
Oh, he's shooting from the other building through the door. That was really nicely done, but instantly they're going to go for the res. One nade would be actually spot on, might get the entire team squad wipe out. Now what I'm expecting is really good synergy. The fight back, White has been knocked away. They lost the IGL. AK-47 now, you got the res, heal back up, and when you heal back up, you got to rush up those stairs and confirm the frags. Here it is, they go 1 by 1, can they get the kill? Leaving Elot to reload, he's got to switch over weapon, but didn't have time to do so. Absolute overwhelming move from AK-47, losing absolutely nobody in that breach.
What the hell is going on with Goskilla? Where's the teamwork? Where's the communication? Come on, Whitey. You're going to get revived up. Get your stuff together.
They're going to be winning the attic.
Disengage. I don't know if you have a vehicle, but disengage if you can.
I mean, there's OVN around there too. I think the disengage at this stage will be very tricky, and maybe not something you want to try and pull off. But if you want to do it, definitely try and maybe kill the teams that are still in your compound. As back to apartment, John, you're going to bite the dust.
Yeah, actually, honestly, you're dead right there. There's no way that they can really disengage at this stage of the game. Their backs are against the wall. They just got to hope that they can turn it around in their favor or wait it out. And G-Space takes down AK-47.
Hopefully they can play around doors and staircases. That's the only way for them to turn it on its head, I do believe. But OVN slowly going to have to make it through the road. As the fighting's still going on the compound, hopefully this will give them enough time. But they've still got so many cars. Look at that. OVN, they know they've got to try and find a better position. And they're still going to stay on their own side of the road, surprisingly enough.
I like it because the circle has shifted up the north. So OVN, instead of being tunnel visioned by teams, they're going to rotate into the circle down the road. Really clean play, but that is going to hurt GoSkilla.
Very similar position to what they did, though, actually, for AVN on their first game of Erangel, and it actually turned up being a chicken dinner. So you know what? Can't argue with results.
Yep.
Hopefully they can get themselves another chicken dinner and Erangel and remain the Erangel Kings. But Elevate, a team that has rotated pretty good, but this rotation is actually pretty late, and they're stopped by top killers in their tracks.
Nini is very low. Pupex is down the hill. You got the 3 members of Elevate spread out quite nicely, and Will with the spray.
Get it, unfortunately, under there. Gonna chuck some nades. Zuku, never know. Might be working out, but it does not. X over here it is. The fight is finally breaking out in apartment because they're gonna have to shift the circle. The circle is going over to the east. Back on over to Zuku. Getting the spray with the UMP, and he will be getting one tag for themselves. They still haven't got the team squad wipeout, so he's not open to rotate just yet.
Plus, the circle has shifted away from these 2 teams, so they got to commit to the fight. As the members of Hate disengage, now him out of the knockdown, he'll lose his life. Pupex is gonna take down Zuku.
As now only Pupex remaining for top killers. He's trying his best to make it. Oh, you're shooting in a rock there, mate. That's not gonna work out. Will, do you want to be tanking up a little bit of blue? Can he survive it? Oh, he does make it back, but he's gonna have to drift. But OVN not right on the set. Whoa, hey, good. Okay. That car was like just got yeeted out of there, but OVN, I said it, they had a perfect angle, and there you have it. Elevate, I believe, just got eliminated there.
Yeah, like, I'll talk about it after a game, but now top killers gonna look to finally close out stuff onto not B2. REXPECT gonna be taken out. This is all kicking off.
Well, coming down, all the teams rotating away from apartment. Oh, it's absolute mayhem. The fight in the fields, getting prone. There's still some high ground into action, so that means you're open to taking damage and getting killed. Driving right over a car with a car. Okay, some cool tricks coming up. That's a 9.
I'm gonna give that 11 out of 10 after Kobe for Necron on the best of team push.
Yeah, now they're going to close up. MVP Gaming, can you make it? Militia, you might want to try and join up. He's not really being too useful for his team, while Low One and Necron are doing all the work. Got to put a little bit of elbow grease in that one. But now he's slowly calming down. But oh, the red team and Hate Gaming. How did Hate Gaming make it to the compound of Yakuza? That should not be allowed.
Oh man, it shouldn't be allowed. And now the circle shifts up north, away from the teams that are on this south. It's a cluster as AIM gets knocked down, but Militia gets taken out, and that's the end of MVP.
MVP will take ninth position. Team push, they got to make it downhill. They still got perfect kind of positioning to shut down Hate Gaming. But not only them, but also Yakuza as the circle goes again in favor of OVN Esports. The circle gods. They're like the own Magneto of their respective group.
Plus AK-47 are still in a good spot by the side of the road against the likes of GoSkilla.
10 seconds. And GoSkilla will be in a world of trouble. Yakuza, the nade from Navi's doing some work. Wants to try and take it over. I believe he's even the last member. Here it is, GoSkilla. I was going to say it was just a matter of seconds. They were going to get pressured by the blue. AK-47, they were just waiting. GoSkilla was sitting ducks. They'll take 8th position overall.
And now OVN, look at them on the north side, rotating across one by one, giving themselves level of communication to get into the circle, as a member of GSMC is going to do everything he can to stay going.
OVN Esports, they're finally going to have to cross. They know they can't wait anymore.
Wow.
And they're going to try and find a nice position to get prone. But oh, they get sniped away. AK-47, they want to beat that 20 kill bomb they had on Erangel last time. And they compound those not in the vicinity of phase 6. So they're going to make the most out of it. Going for car rotation so late, might be a little bit tricky. But they're going to be losing one member. Nova's also going down for OVN Esports.
They've gotten the knockdowns that they require. Plus, in the other side, Neva has taken down Terror.
AK now down to 2. They lost Dexter. Viper not yet flushed away. Will the rest come on through? Definitely possible, but the blue is right behind them. So I'm not being too confident. But Navi from Hate Gaming had to force out eventually. And Chamin's like, nah, that's not going to happen. You get taken out in 6th position.
That's going to be icy knockdown, leaving Janada last man standing for Terror.
Of course, you want to flush it out. Every kill is important for OVN. That's their 3rd on the board. Now they're trying to gatekeep it. Frost doing such a good position. And he's just spraying it absolute hell on AK-47. Doing good.
Like it, blow up the tires, blow up the vehicle, create a little bit more of a protection of the end. They know AK-47 are there, but look at this overview Team push up, they're spread out quite nicely. Not all players are inside the circle, but OVN hold on the north.
They're holding on tight with that 2-2 split, working out absolute wonders for them. AK-47 indeed will be confirmed out of this game in 5th position, down out to top 4. We'll be having Team Push, also a member, Ryan of Yakuza, and a member of Terror, which will be Broccoli. He pulled out so many clutches already, can he do it? But that'll be Yakuza out in 4th position.
Good play, Victor on 8 kills. Can they make it double digits? It's going to come down to these two teams, Team Push and OVN.
4v3 OVN, now they're rolling out. They know it's only one team potentially remaining. They know just about where they're located, but they're being very careful, trying to really spread out as much as they can to have different angles to pressure down Team Push. As Hopper are going to try and spray down with the DP, not doing too much though.
Max, where have Team Push been in the previous 11 games? They're currently lying 23rd. They need this game. They need this chicken dinner. They're on 7 kills already, and now they are going up against the man, the myths, the legends of OVN.
This is maybe their redeeming gaming pyramid. They're going to pull off a PedjaDBoys, but Niva is going to be dropping down to the hands of Magic. That means it's a 3v3, potentially. Obviously, Niva, unfortunately, pretty far away from Victor. The res going to be hard to pull off.
But the members of OVN have Team Push surrounded. Okay, can it go over for Magic? Can they get the kills they need? They're not prone down. Novas and Frost have an idea.
Team Push, if they get this chicken dinner, currently in 23rd position. If they get this might be the only game, the reason why they make it over to the semi-finals of PMCO for the European region. This is an absolute insanely important game for them. They can't afford to lose it right now.
I can only imagine how much your hearts are beating at this stage as Bobby gets knocked out. Magic gets a return onto Novas.
Can they make it? Frost is going to get knocked down again. Now that's going to mean that Hop and Magic, they're going to have to take this one home potentially. But look at that in the distance. Victor's going to res on Niv. I did not think that could happen, but I think Team Push are too focalized on flushes and not really focused on the entire game on their positioning. They lost a big opportunity to shut down the game already.
Nah, this is all going to plan. This is turned around from a 2v4 to a 2v2, Max.
Yeah, definitely stonks for them. Team Push still making it up. Health pack, Niva will be coming on through. Back up to 2v2, looking pretty hefty. That smoke, that might allow both teams to try and spread up. If you can split, that'll be perfect. But Victor's going to go for the snake game, which I think is a good way to play this one.
Man, Team Push, they barely prone down.
They've been really aggressive with that, actually. I'm really surprised. Victor's going to be over there trying to go for the peek. Can he get the shutdown? Oh, he misses the spray with the M4.
But now a grenade is going to be thrown out by Victor. Will that be a Kobe?
I like this. It's actually pretty good. Hopefully he's not going to roll down too heavily. Oh, it gets Hopper! And now OVN, this is when you roll out. Go for it. It's a 2v1, but they don't know exactly where Magic is. They can't pinpoint his location, so they're going to take it safe. But hopefully that will not give them enough time to go for a res on Hopper. It is another nade. That one will maybe confirm. It's a little bit low, I believe.
Close.
It gets it.
Yeah, it's going to be the end of Hopper. Can Magic become the Magic Man? They did so good up until this point. Max, they're on 9 kills. If they get the chicken dinner, that'll be 29 points. But I tell you what, they've done everything they can in these final moments. But it's Magic against a 2-man OVN.
Victor going for the lower side. OVN, they're moving out. They want to play this one a little bit aggressively. I think they have an idea of where Magic might be currently located. Magic, can you make the play? Is going to go out, going for significant amount of pressure. Magic gets one, turn back to 1v1 versus Niva, but Niva will be get it. It will not be Wingardium Leviosa for Magic, and it will be, of course, going over to OVN Esports as they dominate the field once more.
Oh my God, I swear I thought Magic was going to do it. I've never seen such a close game. I honestly... Team Push, you've earned my respect tenfold because throughout the final parts of that game, they didn't prone. They were aggressive. That is the definition of doing everything you can to get the game. It was so hard. Their backs were against the wall. They were going up against a 4-man OVN, but they took them down to 2. Alas, it just wasn't enough.
Team Push, they were in 23rd position. They got themselves like 6, 7, 8, 9 kills. For second position, that's going to be 14 points total.
23.
That's going to be actually maybe enough because they were already on like, what was it, 51? That means they're now up to 74. And 74 actually brings them up in top 16, at least before this game actually happened. So this, as I said, might be the main reason why Team Push makes it over to semi-finals. This is huge for them.
It's huge. It's what they needed. Like never have they needed this game more than now. They got it, but I can't help but feel. No, you know what? They've done enough. They've done enough.
You think so?
They deserve everybody right now to say they've done enough. They deserve to be told that based on that performance. Whether that's the truth, we'll find out tomorrow. But at the end of the day, they deserve to be told you've done enough to qualify.
Done your work. You may now rest, as that was their last game of Group A and Group D. Now they're going to have to bite their nails as they watch Day 6 of the group stage of PMCO for the European region for the spring split. This is going to be a lot of pressure for these teams just watching the stream tomorrow. They're going to be very stressed out, but I definitely do hope that Team Push make it through. And if they do make it through to the semi-finals, this is the Team Push I want to see every single game, because this is top-tier European gameplay for me.
Definitely, it is really unbelievably good gameplay overall from a lot of these teams. Just another team I want to point out, I don't think it's enough. And because of the light that Team Push shined on themselves, it kind of got taken away. But Yakuza, they finished in 4th place, 4 kills. I don't think it's going to be enough. I can pretty much say it's not going to be enough, but I still want to highlight that as a better result from Yakuza in that game.
The only way they can hope to make it through is if, like, the other teams that have to do a good performance tomorrow for Group B and C do really bad. That's like their only redeeming chance to make it. So they're going to be hoping, they're going to be stressing out once again tomorrow on the broadcast. But I just heard from the production crew that the current standings have been updated. So let me update that, Imperium, and we'll be seeing which teams are looking pretty good or which teams are looking pretty bad in the current standings.
Are you going from the bottom or the top?
Which one do you want? Bottom or top? I think say we start top and we see the surprise on the bottom after. Oh no, Imperium, no.
I'm very flexible, so whatever you want, baby. Oh my god,
Imperium. I realized what I said right after.
Yeah.
Don't clip it, please, guys. It slipped, okay? Anyway. I did not intend to come on through. We'll start with the top anyways, Imperium, as we go over. And here we have it. And Terry Sport are indeed back in 1st position.
Yeah, but it's only by 7 points.
Yeah.
Next, Cream, they've all played 4 less games. Hey Gaming, getting not a bad result. 6th place, only 2 kills, but it's put them in 3rd overall. OVN also coming up into 5th. UDR Killers holding on to 6th. And REXPECT, a pretty damn solid day to put them in 7th overall.
Really proud of you boys. Top Killers also in 8th position right now. They got themselves that chicken dinner earlier on Vikendi, so definitely really proud of these boys. AK-47 lost a little bit in the standings, but still I'm really proud of what they've been able to achieve. So Team Warlords, then 15th, the real deal, then 16th still, okay. But MVP Gaming, able to climb back up. I think it's mainly the Vikendi game that put them in this good spot. Back to now, they beat the 100-point system. They got 101 points in 14th position, so pretty happy. But Imperium, now let's go see the lower 16.5 of the current standings. And where are we standing? PedjaDBoy is in 17th. They did it, I think. I think that is going to be enough.
It's so close because Team Push are in 19th on 74, GSMC in 18th on 74 as well. Like, you got to think that, okay, you've got LAKONOSTRA, you've got Accelerate, you've got B2B Limitless, We Are Vietnamese, Team Legend. All of those teams are playing tomorrow. Like, I definitely wonder if CIA can do it. I don't think they can. Same with BackToBack. So that's a few spaces taken away. Red team are not going to qualify. So it's going to be unbelievably close. And
so far, the red team is like the only team confirmed to get taken out. Yakuza, they're hoping for all the teams that are in Group B and C respectively. All of them. That means We Are Vietnamese, B2B, Accelerate, CIA Squad, LAKONOSTRA, BackToBack, and Team Attila. That's a lot of teams, but they are basically hoping for all of them to have like the worst games you've ever seen in PUBG Mobile Esports. All of them in a group.
Like, and Team Attila need to like pull everything out of the bag. Like, they need to go like
They need to go ham.
They need to go ham. They need to go everything. They need to like go absolute poggers tomorrow if they are to qualify in the top 24. I don't think it's going to happen, but look, you know, it's not over till it's over. A team I want to highlight, though, to be honest, Max, in a disappointing manner, unfortunately, is GoSkilla. They started today in 9th spot. They end the day in 13th. Yet to get a chicken dinner. Elevate have overtaken them. It was unfortunately a bad end to the group stage for GoSkilla. By no means are they out, but they will want to kind of step back and reevaluate how they kind of are playing some of these games. They're so close, right? Like, really, like there's so many areas where they're crisp and they're clean, but then there's others where they just falter and fall apart, and that's what's stopping them from getting these chicken dinners.
Yeah, if during the semi-finals, they're definitely gonna have to improve on what they've done so far. They've shown some like really good sparks of genius every once in a while. It's just being able to do consistently these moves that will allow you to really dominate on the more global stage. Big GoSkilla, they know what to work on. Hopefully they'll do the VOD review and all of that. I'm sure they will, and they'll be able to move on forward with that. But Imperium, this is the end for Group A and Group D. They're going to be closing their chapter today. Few teams will unfortunately maybe not make it through. We'll have to check that one out tomorrow. But Imperium tomorrow is going to be Group B versus Group C, which has a lot of insanely good teams, and I just can't wait to check out those games.
Oh man, you're going to see the likes of Magic, Next, Cream, Red Reserve, Throne, Accelerate.
Are you saying all the teams?
I nearly am, but like, honestly, you are seeing the type, like, you're going to see the teams tomorrow that realistically could be fighting for not only the top spot, but the actual spots for the regional final. Really, like, nothing against the teams that played today, but like Next, Cream, Red Reserve, like, come on.
But we have a lot of teams then that have to have really good performances. We already got a few teams that we know are going to get qualified for Group B/Group C. Team Dome, for example, they're qualified. They're currently in 20th position. Seems very slim chance for them to get actually kicked out. It could happen, but like that means all the teams that are under 24th are going to like get an insane amount of points and just climb up, which seems extremely unreasonable to think that might happen. But what we're expecting to see tomorrow, we have Vietnamese, B2B, Accelerate, CIA Squad, LAKONOSTRA, BackToBack, and Team Attila. Those are the teams that we're going to have to focus on tomorrow, because if they do poorly, they're out of the competition entirely. If they pull off a PedjaDBoy, they can climb their way back up to success.
Anything can happen. It's all going to come down to creating your own look.
All in the air, Imperium. That is where it's going to be coming out to. But anyways, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out Day 5 of European PMCO Spring Split 2020. We'll be back tomorrow, as always. It's going to be 8 PM CET or 7 PM GMT if you live up there in the UK. My name is Max Manjoin, as always, with my good friend and pal Imperium. We'll see you tomorrow. Be there, be square, and have a good evening. Bye-bye.